I don't care how many times we have to talk about it, Willie Colon. 9 consecutive losses is an embarrassment and is beneath the New York Yankee franchise that you have grown up enduring, loving, and rooting for from the Bronx. You know what? It's time to fight back. Because if it gets to 10, it'll be the first time since 1913, and that's 10 years before the house that Ruth built was even built. You son of a bitch!
You know, there's part of this show when I said thank you for allowing me on that I wasn't gonna kick your butt this early. I was gonna try to keep it 100 with you, but you want to start off with handcuffs. You chose violence this morning, Craig.
No, I did not.
So let's get with it. So let's get with it, man.
We got a lot to do. Violence is never the answer. That, of course, over there is a Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer, Greg Jennings, Super Bowl champ, and my man right here is a Super Bowl champion as well. Sir. Matter of fact, he played in the game.
He stole one from me, Craig. Yes. I haven't seen this man since he walked out of the building in Dallas, Jerry's World, with a Lombardi that had to steal his name on it.
Oh, very good point.
It's smoke out here in these streets, man. It's smoke. Yeah.
That's Willie Colon, by the way, former Steeler, former New York Jet, and a longtime friend. And great to have you here. It's Wednesday, right? Yep. Okay, how do we do Wednesday morning? We start you off with a little something we like to call headlines. Let me do football first. We'll get to the Yankees in a second. Robert Saleh made it official yesterday. Aaron Rodgers is going to start against the Giants for the final preseason game of 2023. And it's been debated back and forth. Do you risk the injury for Aaron Rodgers? But as Greg and I were talking about yesterday, I'd love to get your take on it as well. He has yet to take an actual snap against a real defense.
Correct.
Where he's at risk of being tackled or even touched. So I like it from the standpoint of one series, maybe two. Let's just get everybody on the field together, new offensive line, and just see how it feels.
Yeah, I'm with you from the standpoint that he has to go out there and get it done. For me, it's about temperament, man. You play with the man. What he is in practice is not what he is going to be on game day. This offensive line, by all accounts, is going to be new. Mekhi Becton's going to be playing the right tackle.
Yep.
Now, I understand AVT and Lakeland Tomlinson, they were out last week, so now they're supposed to be back in the line. Dwayne Brown was just cleared, so hopefully, I don't know if he's going to play Saturday, but overall, there's a chance that he may be out there. Who knows? But I think Aaron Rodgers, I'm worried about his temperament. He's snappy, man, on game day. He's a different dude. Some say schizophrenic, bipolar. Who knows? Never play with the man. But I know he's not afraid of a mic. And one thing I know when he came back last year off his hiatus of hitting the peyote, that he was a little edgy.
He's not the only one. I took a small hiatus.
He was a little edgy with the receiving core. He was a little snappy with the offense because he just wasn't happy. This Jets team is fragile because they're young and the hype is real. You talk about Hard Knocks in the city, waiting for this team to come alive, and it's going to be led by him. So I'm worried about his temperament. Will he be even killed? Will he be able to help this young group out? So it's going to be interesting.
You played with him. Are you worried about the temperament between what he's like at practice versus Monday night, September 11th against the Buffalo Bills?
I'm actually not worried about it, to be honest. I get why it could be a concern, but when you understand what he's walking into, the expectations, he's coming in as a savior. He says he's not, but that's not how anyone outside of Aaron Rodgers sees it and views it. So when you think about those things, he understands I can't be the heavy hand or the hard leader that I was even exiting out of Green Bay. I'm entering into a situation where I've done everything the right way. I've embraced it. It's been fun. It's been light. Yes, he is going to be different. He is different. Game day, practice, 100%. It's too
Look, I feel this way. If there's no threat of anyone tackling me, I'm going to be different, right?
Oh.
If the worst I'm going to get is, Ted, you're in, then mentally, I got to be different.
Well, for three things, for this offense line, as you know, it's tempo, right? The tempo on practice is going to be different from game day. He's going to be, get on the ball, let me see it, let's get up and go.
Okay.
For a young offensive line, Mekhi Becton, he's been okay thus far, but if a block or two gets missed, he's not looking at a $100 million man that's not going to take it, right? He's going to be in his butt a little bit about it. That's different. And on top of that, the rhythm and chemistry with the receiving core is going to be different. So all that has to be worked out. Now, if I had it my way, I would love to see him play against the Buccaneers.
Last week.
Get a half out. And then this game, get a quarter. See you September 11th.
Call it a day.
Yes.
God, listen, we got much more on that. Robert Saleh did talk yesterday. And I should mention, we're going out to Jet Camp after the show.
I'll be there too.
Nice.
Can I drive with you?
No.
Okay.
No, I can't. I don't want to get pulled over.
What are we doing?
What's that smoke coming out of Carton's car? Here's
What are we doing?
Robert Saleh
Already.
talking yesterday about a certain way he's not allowed to coach. Go ahead.
Can't coach scared. Can't play scared. You can slip out of your car and have something happen to you. But we'll be. Knock on wood, everyone will be fine. You see some of the great ones out there. Kansas City's playing their guys, Buffalo's playing their guys. It's not uncommon.
Yeah, basically that was an answer to a question of, are you concerned about guys getting hurt? And I happen to agree with Robert Saleh. We're men playing football. There's always the risk of a guy getting hurt, but I can't make decisions that I think are best for my team under the cloud of, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it because he might get hurt. And I know, I don't like when we compare ourselves to other teams because I don't care what other teams do. But his point is a good one. Patrick Mahomes just took 20 snaps in a game a week ago. So, it's okay to play your veterans.
Yeah, let's be clear. Number one, Aaron Rodgers is making this decision. He wants to play. So Robert Saleh is going to then side with that and understand that if he wants to play, then I have to trust that the way he goes about this preseason game, he understands obviously what we're trying to accomplish. He's a smart quarterback. He's been doing this for years. This is not his first rodeo. However, to what you said earlier, they need to understand how he's going to run this offense, how it's going to sound, his cadence, even the receivers in the perimeter, the nonverbal communication, the verbal communication.
And you're not talking about Lazard and
Lazard,
talking about Garrett Wilson.
But Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, all these other guys, even the offensive linemen, they need to understand and hear the cadence and what it's going to be like on game day because it is different from game day.
All right, well, let's get to Aaron Rodgers. And I agree with you guys. If he didn't want to play, he wouldn't be playing. Here's what Aaron Rodgers had to say being out there this Saturday against the New York Giants. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's always that risk reward. I think over the years, it just hasn't made sense based on a number of different factors. But I used to enjoy playing the preseason back in my younger years.
By the way, he hasn't played a preseason game since 2018. So into his 30s he did. But if you guys could put that up again, my concern is that 48 hours ago, he had the Magnum PI mustache.
Yes.
The mustache is gone, but he's still got the goatee going.
He's feeling the pressure.
How do you work that with the razor? I don't know how to do that.
He went from looking like the Maverick to like a substitute teacher. So
shave it down a little bit.
Well, listen, I'm nervous about it because I hate the Snoopy Bowl. I hate it.
Because it cost the Jets and maybe another run to a championship game.
Go back to 2003. Chad Pennington hurts his left wrist, right? He misses first 6 games, right? Yep. That was the thing. Then I was on the sideline with Mark Sanchez talking about what we were going to do after the game. We were going to go to catch, possibly pop some bottles.
Oh, yeah?
And high-five some bottles, right?
Yeah?
That's what we were talking about. And Rex Ryan came running down the sideline in the fourth quarter behind a makeshift offensive line, told Mark Sanchez, like, hey, man, we just want to get a quick score out of you. Can you make it happen? It took Mark Sanchez an hour to get warmed up for a game because he's an older quarterback. Nevertheless, he goes out there, blows his shoulder. Here comes Geno on the Jets, and it was absolutely traumatic for me because that was my first year with the Jets. I came from the Pittsburgh Steelers, a storied organization, to now playing for a team starting their rookie quarterback.
We said it yesterday. All Rex Ryan wanted to do was own New York.
So he
wanted to beat the Giants.
It's a copper Snoopy.
That's exactly.
Is that how we own New York?
Well, when you're the Jets, yes.
It's the Super Bowl.
You have to remember, we are the Jets.
You
have to take things in steps.
Did you hear what this man?
What did he say?
It's a Super Bowl for you guys.
That's basically the only thing you plan for. It's a fact. Don't look at me
I'm
like
gonna be
that.
honest. I hate your shirt. If you want,
that's just a compliment to me.
Way to break the tension. Thanks, Willie.
Thank you.
And it's not like he's never worn it before. Let me go to headline number 2, Kansas City. Best defensive player the Chiefs got, Chris Jones, in a little online back and forth with somebody on social media, said he ain't coming back till week 8. Yeah. That's a real problem for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know a lot of people are out. Well, let's look at their schedule. They can go 6-2. It's not the point. he is the heart and soul of Kansas City's defense, and he is now digging his heels in at least a little bit more than he has by saying, right there, you see the tweet there, I can afford to sit out till about week 8. Now, I should mention,
big money.
Preseason, $50,000 a day.
Yep.
That's the fine. Regular season, because of his salary, he's looking at a $1.1 million fine every game he misses. What are we doing?
It's absolutely atrocious. The big fella is an impact player without a doubt. I feel bad for Spagnuolo because he's dealing with depth issues.
Defensive coordinator at Kansas City.
Yeah, correct. And he's also dealing with some guys dealing with suspicions on the D-line alone. So now you talk about their prize horse who's been out all the training camp, who's a big fella. When he comes back week 8, I'm not worried about him lifting weights and looking the part. I'm worried about his game shape, right? Because if you miss camp and you've been away that long, now you're talking about cardio. It's different when you put your feet in cleats and you're pushing against another man trying to oppose your will. Will he be ready? Because they're going to need him. Now, by all accounts, the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is phenomenal. That's why Patrick Mahomes was allowed to play a little longer in the preseason because they kept him upright through the whole game for the most part. So they have 2 young tackles in Donovan Smith. And they have, I forget the other big fella's name, but they look great up front. So I think offensively they can carry the load and they'll be fine without him.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Kansas City publicly has come out and said, we recognize how good Chris Jones is. He's right. We're going to give him more money. And yet here we are. They haven't gotten a new deal done. And now you've got Chris Jones. Again, it's a meaningless post. But if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm now concerned that my best defensive player might be out till month 3.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's flat out a problem. And when you look at their schedule, like, it's not even necessarily about who they're playing because offensively, like as you alluded to, I believe their offense can allow them.
Yeah.
Exactly. They can hold on. They got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
However, when I look at their defense and you think about the guys that you allowed to walk out the door, you let Tyreek Hill go a year ago. You're basically underpaying your tight end. Your quarterback is the 8th highest paid quarterback in the league, which he's the best in the league. So you're saving all this money for who?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be for this guy, and then you have other guys that are going to have opportunity to step up, but he makes them better.
Not just that. If you guys could put that schedule back up there, they're going up against the resurgent Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence.
I like the Lions, by the way.
Fields, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson twice, and everyone's new favorite quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Like, you need Chris Jones on the field in those games.
You not only need him, but the issue with me right now with him is you've gotten paid before, right? Like at this
He's
point,
making $20 million this year.
Yeah, he's making his first he's coming off his first All-Pro season. You're going to get paid, big fella. Stay the course. You're winning and Greg can attest to this. Winning makes you richer, but it makes you more comfortable. If you're allowed to stay in your comfort and continue to win, you're going to get paid. They're going to reward you, but they're going to reward you due to your loyalty. You missing camp is just hurting the big picture. Just show up, do what you do, make it go to work. So you'll be fine.
There's a lot to be said about being a go-along, get-along kind of guy. It makes it easier for a team to want to pay you and do right by you because you don't cause them any problems. Like my life.
It doesn't always work that way, though.
It doesn't always work. But if I had a choice, if I was telling my kids what to do,
go to work.
Be the guy that gets along with everyone and shows up for work. It's much easier for a team to do right by you when you're there every day than when you're making a big nuisance about holding out.
I agree. Totally.
No, it doesn't. I was that guy.
Listen,
I was that guy in Green Bay. I did everything that I needed to do, and I didn't want to leave. Everybody always walks up to me and
you
says,
had lost a step.
No, I had not lost a step.
Did you lose a step?
No,
I can find it.
You told us a story about you were running down the field and a young cornerback was like, "Where you going, old man?"
I just came back off of injury.
Did you not tell us that story?
One
and he was tapping at your hip, and you're like, "How come I don't have any separation?"
What happened?
Look here.
Tell Willie the story.
I'm here for it.
Thank you. I was still that guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to leave Green Bay. I did everything right. But I also understood what the writing on the wall had looked like prior to me getting to this point.
Yeah.
You get to around year 7, and they start to look at other guys and say, you know what, let's move this guy out of the way.
Kind of like a marriage for some people.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I understood that. So I wasn't going to just give them a hometown discount just because I was doing my part. I need you to meet me where you're talking about or you're hoping that I meet my value. When you talk about Chris Jones and he's gotten paid, Yes, so has Patrick Mahomes. So has all these other guys. So everybody gets paid, and if you continue to perform, pay the man.
But
Period.
you're saying the same thing we're saying. Go to work.
We're just saying show up.
Just show up.
I get what I
He ain't going to practice anyway.
All I'm saying is,
You know
all I'm
he's
saying
taking
is,
cupcake
all
reps.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't pay him, but I'm saying it hasn't always worked out to where just because you comply and you do what the company wants you to do, they reward you for it.
All right, let me give you the last headline. It's what I accidentally opened the show with. And I want to apologize to my friend Willie Colon. He's a diehard Yankee fan, grew up in the Bronx, has always loved the Yankees, going all the way back to Reggie Jackson's days in the late 70s before he was born. But they're an embarrassment now. They're a national embarrassment to the Pinstripes.
Take it easier. Like, you're going in rough.
Yeah, you got to be rough. They've now lost 9 consecutive games. And by the way, just to show you a point here, the last time they lost 9 consecutive games is before both of you were born.
Dave Winfield was leading the home runs for that team. It's brutal. Carter, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
I have nothing for you. I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I grew up 5 minutes from the stadium.
Yeah.
I was a blue cup of coffee type of guy and a bacon, egg, and cheese. My mom used to take me to the stadium. I would hot dogs. You sneak Coca-Colas wrapped in aluminum foil into the stadium. I'm bleeding this team. It hurts me. I was at the game Sunday with my wife, and my wife is from Jaxon, Mississippi, by the way. She knows nothing about the Yankees. All she knows, she likes the legend seats and the prime rib is fantastic. But
by the way, she's right.
Right. It hurts to see this team perform this way. Now, the defense was amazing last night, but they were ice cold. And Carlos Rendon had the nerve to say, well, this is unsettling. You think this is unsettling? I have a Yankee truck I have a Ford pickup wrapped in Yankee wrap because I'm a nutso. So it hurts. Oh, here we go.
Say goodbye to yesterday.
It's
over, man.
It is.
It's over.
It's never over till it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
It's never over till it's over.
It's over. I appreciate the fan, Willie, but it is a wrap on the New York Yankees. By the way, the first 8 batters in the Yankee lineup last night were combined 0 for 26.
This feels like my prom date. Cold and a no-show. This is brutal.
I will say this. If the Yankees lose again tonight to the Washington Nationals, who they lost to last night, a 10 consecutive loss streak for the New York Yankees would be the first time that has happened since 1913. Over 100 years ago, there wasn't even a Yankee Stadium, and I think they were called the Highlanders when it happened.
I didn't know
That's
that.
how far back we're going.
It's another useless fact I care about. The problem is we need this team to come alive, and I'm not giving up on them. I'm not going to be like you and the rest of the city. I'm still banging with them.
Yeah, he's also got 9 lottery tickets in his back pocket. He still thinks he's $1 billion. Okay. All right, coming up, Green Bay Packers GM Mark Murphy basically attacked Aaron Rodgers yesterday. I will explain to you exactly what he said right after this.
Harper hits one in the air, left back, it goes! Harper, the swing of his life!
MLB playoffs are near, and you know what that means, Alex?
Yep, Flippin' Bats will be staying up late and having all the fun.
From breaking down the most important stories in games, nobody's done what he's doing. Nobody, not even Babe Ruth.
To interviewing baseball's biggest stars.
I felt like I was pitching more stressed. I was trying to be so perfect.
No one covers America's pastime like us.
So as we sprint towards this year's World Series on Fox, please make sure to listen, follow, and subscribe to Flippin' Bats with Ben Verlander and me, Alex Curry.
Baseball is fun, and so are we. We're going to have fun, dang it! We'll talk to you soon.
Willie Colon, Greg Jennings, Packers CEO Mark Murphy. Yes, the same Mark Murphy who was Northwestern's AD during the alleged hazing incidents back in the day. Came out and attacked my quarterback.
Who's that?
Aaron Rodgers.
I see.
Came out, he didn't use Aaron's name, of course, but I can read between the lines. Came out and said that the Green Bay Packers are playing with a chip on their shoulder. Listen to this.
I think you hit the head. That's the fans. The uncertainty comes with excitement. I think the other thing I've noticed with our team, I think they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulders in that, we're picked to finish either last in the division or third, and nobody's given us a chance. I think they want to kind of stay under the radar but prove people wrong.
Well, it's going to be very hard to prove people wrong unless Jordan Love happens to be the heir apparent like, Aaron was to Brett Favre. But, the more I think about it, guys, I keep going back to Aaron Rodgers appears to be rejuvenated with the Jets. Now, I had never met him prior to, but watching him on Hard Knocks and all the local coverage of him because they are playing in our backyard, he looks like 10 years younger, like there's no weight on his shoulders. He looks like he's having a good time, all that stuff, right? And I say to myself, you know, if you're the Green Bay Packers and you now become aware that Aaron Rodgers was willing to play another 2, 3, or 4 years and you decided to say goodbye to him, I might have a chip on my shoulder too. Like, what are we doing?
Well, at some point, you got to make a decision to move forward, to move past the guy that is not giving you the same amount of investment that he is now giving the Jets.
Yes, the narrative on him pre-Jets is a lot different than what he's done with the Jets. That's
Absolutely.
fair.
And so when he talks about this team is playing with a chip on their shoulder, they are, because they feel like it wasn't just about Aaron Rodgers, and it's not just about Aaron Rodgers even though he exited. We all know how great he is. We all know what he's provided for that organization. Nobody is discrediting any of that. However, it's almost when you're in that situation in a locker room and you have a guy that you've been riding with for the last 2 years, and I say yes, the last 2 years in Jordan Love, because he was there last offseason.
Yeah.
He was with those young receivers when Aaron decided not to come in the offseason and participate with those guys and allow them to have a successful season last year. And so when you have a guy that you've pretty much gone to bat for and you know what he's capable of doing, yes, you're going to do everything in your power to try to make sure he's successful.
I just from maybe a self-respect standpoint, I would be bothered if I'm a Green Bay Packer player and I'm watching the way Aaron Rodgers is behaving in New York.
It looks
that
like
would tick me off.
It looks like he's at a Ritz.
Right?
He's having a time of his life. And listen, for me, if I'm the Green Bay Packers in that locker room, this is a sigh of relief. I'm glad Aaron's gone because, like, the guy reminds me of a hot chick. You take it to Del Frisco's, you get her in a nice car, you do everything possible. She's gorgeous, but you just can't. I know you can't satisfy her.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's nothing that the Green Bay Packers could do or try to do that could satisfy Aaron Rodgers. So I think they're gone with it. I'm happy for Jordan Love. I think it's a matter of him remaining consistent and staying in his lane. He doesn't have to do anything he's not prepared to do. I think he's prepared for the moment. As far as Aaron Rodgers be gone, that chip in the shoulder comes from because they have a tough division. The Bears are going to be better. The Vikings are going to be. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So they do have to have this chip on the shoulder. But
and it is the first time in over 2 decades that the Green Bay Packers aren't the obvious pick to win the division.
Yeah, I got them going 10-7, honestly. I do. I think
that'd be a good year, though, wouldn't it?
Of course. I see them finishing second behind the Lions, and I got them going 10-7.
By the way, 10-7 means that in the last couple weeks of the season, they're alive for a wild card spot, which I think, if you're a Green Bay Packer fan and Jordan Love authors a 10-7 season, you sign up for that right now today in blood.
No question.
Well, I don't think Jordan Love is going to be bad. Like everybody, because you are following the performance in the likes of Aaron Rodgers, naturally you believe that there's going to be a fall off.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. When Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre, he had a phenomenal year. We just were bad as a team. We didn't know how to win with him yet. Now, when you look at Jordan Love, this team, because they're playing with this chip, because they're playing with a little bit of edge, because they've spent time with this young man, it's just a matter of can he come in and do what you said, be consistent.
Be consistent.
You don't have to be Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't want to be Aaron Rodgers, but can he be consistent, put them in positions where they can win games in the waning moments of the game? Yes, I believe this is a better team than what we're giving him credit for.
The big thing for Jordan Love, just as an individual,
don't read the papers.
You know, all that and listen to the shows and all that, is you better not be the worst quarterback in that division. Because that's tangible. Like, you know, you got Kirk Cousins, and let's be honest.
Well, that's assuming Justin Fields is. I mean, I think Justin Fields is going to be a monster this year.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that Justin Fields is going to be a monster, right?
Yeah.
And not have to run the ball for his life. If you're telling me that Kirk Cousins is just Kirk Cousins and Goff has another great year, just on paper, he's going to be the worst quarterback in that division.
Go for it.
I don't think he's going to be worse, but I think he has to, what we're talking about, be consistent and be competitive. When you have a quarterback like that for Green Bay Packers, you want a guy to be able to finish games for you and get you out of tough situations. That's all he has to do. The team is going to grow up with him. You don't want to see a situation where he's pick heavy, where he's getting picked off left and right. You don't want to see a situation where he's sitting in the pocket and he doesn't look like he knows where to go with the football. You don't want to see a situation where he's on the sideline slamming his helmet and throwing iPads and he's cussing people out. Because that's a sign of a quarterback that's unhinged. You don't want to see that. He's been a part of the system long enough where he should be able to handle those situations. That's what they need. I'm with Greg. First year, just be steady, Eddie, and consistent. Whatever the numbers are, fine. Just don't be in the negative.
Right. Don't embarrass yourself or looking competent, because that stands out, and we'll all recognize that. And for an organization, to be fair, that for almost 30 years has had Hall of Fame quarterback play, there's more pressure on Jordan Love than anybody else in that organization.
Yeah, that's fair. And he understands that, and so do the guys in that locker room.
Let me go to, real quick, Colts Eagles having a joint practice. Let's just be honest about it. The only purpose of the joint practice is to let you guys fight each other, right?
We don't need joint practice.
I mean, that's the purpose of it.
We can take it to the parking lot, homie.
Yeah. Oh, you're loaded there. Hold on a second. Strap right there. Like, that's the purpose of it. Fight somebody other than your teammate so there's no bad blood in a locker room. And that's why every single time two teams have a joint practice, there is some level of fighting. Now, we don't have the video of it, but there was a fight yesterday between the Colts and the Eagles, and Zaire Franklin talked about it. And he also talked about how disappointed he was in the OGs on the Eagles, and at the end of the day, how they whooped that Eagles' ass. Check this out.
You know, that kind of happens when you joint practice against other organizations. You know, sometimes your speed ain't they speed. People get offended. That's life. Yeah, you know, it's funny, you know, obviously growing up in Philly, watching him play for a long time, a lot of respect for him. Talked to him a little bit after we played him last year. You know, thought the OGs would at least look me in the eye before, you know, but it's all good. I'm going to get a chance to look him in the eye on Thursday, so we're going to be okay.
All right, so that's they wouldn't look me in the eye. All right, they play each other in the final preseason game. So now let's go to Kenneth Gainwell from Philadelphia and get his take on the fisticuffs that happened at yesterday's practice. Go ahead.
And just keep each other safe, you know, and, man, we're a team. You know, we ain't gonna let nobody come in our house and take over, but, you know, we're gonna continue to work hard each and every day. We whoop their ass up.
We whoop their ass, though.
Dodo.
Memo is that when dudes have helmets on, no one's getting their ass whooped.
Nah, you can get cleaned up out there.
No.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, you can
with a helmet on?
You can get absolutely polished up out there.
How's
100%. Because these hands against that metal helmet and with the speed and force I'm trying to get after you, you don't feel it. Like I was a guy always fighting in practice. I had a short temper, I had a short wick, so to speak, so I was always setting it off. But that was also indicative to the makeup of my team. We had a lot of bullies. But nevertheless, you know, Zaire, I think it's more personal. Like he said, he's from Philly, and he's not playing for the Phillies. So he has to show up. I grew up a Giants fan. So when I played the Giants, I always had a little more extra in the tank because I wanted to show, like, y'all forgot about me. And I was across the street. All y'all had to just pick, call me and I'll come running. So there is a little extra gusto with that. But joint practices, and this is why I credit the Steelers, they never did it. Because to your point, you got guys that are on the bubble. You got guys who know they're on the fringe of getting cut, and the guy across from you doesn't necessarily have your best intentions, right? Usually when you're going against a guy on your own team, like, man, we're on the same team. I need you, bro. But a guy across from you, he's trying to make the team too. He's trying to get a job too.
And so he might be a little desperate.
He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about you.
But on the flip side of that, it brings teams together because fights are going to happen whether your helmet looks the same or the helmet across from you is different, right? Sure. So when you look at these joint practices and you see the Colts, they got into a scrap. We know all of what's looming over the Colts right now is going to bring them a little closer together. We look at the Eagles, you hear guys saying they don't like our tempo. Obviously, he's saying this team, they're a little lax, they're a little comfortable during practice. They're not practicing the way we practice. They're not meeting our tempo. You hear that? That's a challenge.
And that's
so that
brings you
saying it. Exactly. So it naturally brings you together. So any riffs that you've had with teammates, that you've gone bucking heads with one another, that's out the window. We all for one for all.
And one thing about, and I know Greg can attest to this, when a fight happens in practice, when you review the tape, you look for the guy who's slow to the pile. Who's lagging behind. That's the guy. Because listen, when it comes to evaluation time and you're on the bubble, and if we scrapping, you're looking for the guy who's late to the fight, because that's the guy who's not about that life. And when you're traveling on the road and you got to go to hostile territory like a Baltimore, and that guy is slow off the bus, you need to cut his
Yep.
But now,
Hey,
get him out of there.
I need my hands.
Right.
So
He's like, hey, man. He said, I got there, and it looked like it was
I
over.
can see it being like this. Willie Clone's like,
Right.
where's Greg Jennings?
Hey, let me tell you what I did. No. You go grab the DB next to you and just hold him right here.
So it looks like
That's
you're
it.
in it.
Yeah.
No, you ain't going
So
over
if the
there.
team fights and you late to the fight, man, I'm like, see, nope, I got you. Nope, get out of here. You're not one of us.
Did you guys have any? Well, you got with the Steelers. You didn't do the practices.
No.
When you were at the Jets, was there ever with Rex?
No, Rex didn't do it
scrum?
either.
No,
because he knew what time it was. It's always going to be that kind of back and forth. Guys throw punches, guys get hurt. I mean, Jets assistant coach got clipped in the Buccaneers practice, and they had to send him to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just don't want those things to happen.
I do agree with what Craig said. I could see it being like a team building thing.
Oh, 100%.
Like no one's really getting hurt usually in those preseason scrums. But you guys go into the locker room like, we're a unit. Yeah, we fought. You came to back me up, that kind of stuff.
It definitely builds a morale, but you're always looking for the guy who's late to the fight. I'm like,
You know, that's Greg Jennings.
I'll be.
You know, the soft suburban kids from Michigan. You know how
Hey, you call me what you want to. I need these hands.
Money. Real quick. You know, there's all this nonsense out there right now with Jonathan Taylor and what the Colts are hopefully going to decide. Assuming he finds a team that wants to trade for him.
Nobody picking
there are
him
a couple teams that allegedly have an interest. Doesn't mean they'll get a deal done. But a new head coach out there, or offensive coordinator, pardon me, Shane, how do you pronounce it? Steichen? Is that how you say it? He deflected all questions on Jonathan Taylor. And this is kind of lame. Listen to this.
So those are the reports right now, and we're working through those things.
Are you hoping to see a resolution at some point in the near?
Like I said, I mean, with any of those, I'll refrain all those questions to Chris Ballard. Yeah.
Chris Ballard's a GM, but if I'm a coach, I'm ticked off because you're giving me an opportunity now to run a franchise, and my best player ain't playing. And while you can say all you want publicly, talk to Chris Ballard, talk to Jim Irsay, behind closed doors, I'm livid.
Well, I mean, I would feel bad for Jonathan Taylor, right? You talking about Irsay paying $20 million to save an orca, right?
Which you didn't do. The orca died.
Right, we lost the orca. Sorry, Lolita. And then you talk about, here's another one. Jack Nicholson putter. That's what Irsay paid for, right? He's done everything with his checkbook instead of paying for his top running back.
He bought a Jack Nicklaus putter?
Yes.
Yeah, and a whale.
And a whale.
Hold on. How much could a putter cost?
If I'm Jonathan Taylor, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to get paid around here? The guy's buying vintage PlayStations. He's buying old Jordans, and I'm sitting here looking for the check. Guitars. He's probably got a tattoo of Peyton Manning on his back.
Wait, I love how on the graphic there we highlight the fact that the whale died.
R.I.P. Lolita. Her name's Lolita. Lolita the whale, the orca. We lost her.
Yeah, you know why? Because the whale was like, yo, I've lived in this little tank for 50 years, and now you're moving me to northern Michigan? I'm good.
Yeah, this is why I leave.
So, I got a question for you, though, because as an offensive lineman, and you're going into training camp, you got
Hold on, start out. You trying to compare Wales and offensive linemen? What are you saying? What are you saying?
No, he said it.
Okay. No, not at all.
Okay.
Going back to Jonathan Taylor in the situation there in Indianapolis. As an offensive lineman, you're going into camp, you're expecting to have this young stud coming in, Anthony Richardson, possibly fighting for a job. He ends up winning the job. But you got something that's stable. That's your running game. That's Jonathan Taylor. How do you feel as an offensive unit where the strength of your team is running the ball with that guy?
Well, for me, I want everybody to get paid, right? You try to stay in everybody's pocket. But for Jonathan Taylor, man, he has all the right to say, listen, man, I got to get paid because they haven't been good. And they have a rookie quarterback who I watched last year. I went to the Florida game versus South Carolina where Anthony Richardson was leading the helm for the Gators, man. He was the biggest, most impressive guy on the field, but he didn't seem like a franchise quarterback to me, right? And this young kid, I still think needs time. Now, I think he has all the intangibles to be great. But to your point, Greg, now we have to lean on somebody who's been reliable and steady for us, and that's Jonathan Taylor. So when he's disgruntled and upset, and if he's not in the offense, from an offensive line, well, I'm dealing with a rookie quarterback and I'm dealing with an upset running back, all right, hopefully we got a great kicker, right?
There's a rumor out there that Jonathan Taylor got a tattoo of a whale on his backside as a tramp stamp, but apparently it happened a little too late because the whale's now dead.
Shout out to
All
Lolita,
right, much
man.
more coming up with Willie Colon and Greg Jennings, and that means the Dallas Cowboys. You can't do a show on FS1 and not acknowledge the Dallas Cowboys.
We can. We just won't.
We won't.
We won't.
Mike McCarthy said something, and he's probably going to get fired for it. Right after this.
Everyone knows that when you want every score, the best highlights, and the biggest stories from the sports world, you go to foxsports.com. But did you know all of your favorites from Fox Sports can come to you? Announcing your Fox Sports Daily. Fox Sports' all-new, customized daily newsletter, delivering the top sports news and videos you care about every day. All you need to do is sign up on foxsports.com or on the Fox Sports app. And then just follow your favorite teams, athletes, and leagues to get only the news you want. The more favorites you add, the more personalized your Fox Sports Daily will be. So sign up today on foxsports.com or on the Fox Sports app and stay updated on the sports stories that matter to you.
There you go. Way to throw it in. Really appreciate you, buddy.
This is awkward.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is. My arm hurts.
If I may, that was the end of a 30-minute photograph session. I got tired. Anyhow,
you look like a retired Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Like, this is
wherever you get your podcast, I'm pretty sure the Carton Show podcast is there. Download it, enjoy it. It'll get you through traffic here in New York City for sure. All right, let's go down to Dallas, Texas, because Mike McCarthy talked about why he refuses to play his veterans, kind of like the Jets playing Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes playing in Kansas City.
Who cares?
Mike McCarthy says, I ain't doing it. Listen to this.
It's really, risk assessment. I mean, there's pros and cons of playing them. There's pros and cons of not playing them. There's pros and cons of practicing against another team. There's pros and cons of not. So, I mean, just understanding how it all fits together. But I think the other part of it is, where are you as a team? What are you trying to get done? Do you have a veteran group you believe in? This is year 3 for a lot of our group.
Meanwhile, every year that he was the coach in Green Bay, his starting quarterback played in the preseason. But Jerry Jones was asked about it. Jerry Jones said, I agree with Mike McCarthy's approach. I want them players there in December.
I say.
Meanwhile, I'm probably going to fire him after the year anyhow.
Right.
To me,
bye-bye, Mike.
This isn't about.
This sounds like a little bit of that Steeler coming out of you because he took.
Do you not notice the black shirt?
To me, this isn't risk assessment about guys getting injured. This is the Dak Prescott interception assessment. He does not want to go into the year off a preseason game where Dak Prescott throws an interception, and that's all this is about to me.
It's 100%. It's about optics. Once he wants to get this team healthy, he doesn't want Dak Prescott to get hurt, and he doesn't want to see his star quarterback look pick happy. He can't have that.
Right.
So I think it's smart. Sit him, let him rest up, and see what happens.
Yeah, this is all about Dak Prescott.
I think so.
Look, there comes a point in your career, everybody goes through it, whether it's younger, older, where you can't get over something. And right now, Dak is in a little rut, throwing interceptions, and it's not just the interceptions that it's like, okay, we can live with that one. It's the bad interceptions. That's what he's been doing. And so going into week 1, what you don't want to have happen is Dak go out here and throw an interception, and now that's in his mind. Everybody's talking about it all over again.
It'll be the front page of the Dallas News.
Marking up the boards here with Dak Prescott throwing an interception, and he starts the season doing the same thing he ended the season with. You can't have that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't guarantee or predict, well, let's just give him one series, have him complete 2 passes to get him off the field. Every time Dak goes like this to throw a football, there's an 80-20 chance it's going to be caught by the other team. So that's the risk assessment that they've done. We don't want them throwing the ball to anybody until we get to September.
And then Jerry's trying to protect the building, right? They're working on $180 million renovations. They want to keep butts in the seats. They got to pay for the lights, right? So in order to do that, you got to have something to see. And Dak Prescott has to be the best show for the Cowboys. And right now, he doesn't look
I disagree with you on a little bit. Like the Cowboys in Dallas are like the Knicks in New York. No matter how bad they are, people show up.
But you don't need Cowboy fans panicking looking for a bridge.
Right behind you see the Dak Prescott cutout.
Is that him?
Every time he throws a practice interception, we mark it. You know what they're doing in Dallas. They're all waiting. And it's like thin ice.
They're
if he has a
sacrificing
great
brisket.
game, woo! but everyone's waiting for that big Dak Prescott interception, and that's real.
I feel bad for Dak. He just has to finish the job. That's the biggest thing with me, man. I love him
Just
as a
for the
quarterback.
record, he's single and made over $100 million. You don't feel bad for him.
Well, I just want to see him to win the big one, man. Eventually, before Jerry Coles quits. So him and Lolita hold hands in hands into the pearly gates.
All right. Meanwhile, just to show you how crazy Cowboy fans are, Jerry Jones, always a man of the people, was signing some autographs. So someone goes, here, take my baby.
Give me that baby. Give me that precious little baby.
Yeah, now, the baby's wearing a Dak Prescott jersey. Great.
That baby's stuffed.
And nobody asked, but Jerry's like, I'll sign the baby.
Yeah.
Like, listen, you have kids, I have kids. We've probably done some questionable things looking back on it, but I never handed my baby over a railing to Jerry Jones and then had an expectation that he was going to sign my baby.
Yeah, and the baby's like, who is this gatekeeper? Like, why am I being held by this old, man?
This is actually a thing. Like, I never understand why people just put
Hand
a
their
baby in
children
your
over
face.
to other people.
I'm sure you've seen this at training camp.
Oh, I've signed babies.
Exactly.
Oh, come on.
But
Seriously.
But
You signed children?
Yeah, right on the forehead.
Like,
yeah.
come on, this is Steeler country right here. Like,
same kind of animal, right?
Oh, yeah, Steeler fans are nuts. You'll see tattoos, sleeves of like the form the steel curtain. You'll see all type. I've seen the wildest tattoo I've seen was some guy had a Palomalo face literally on his stomach, kind of like with the hair and everything. He was just like, bro, I'm diehard. I'm like, that's gonna hurt. Like, I don't think you should. I think you should take that off.
Yeah,
especially on the beach. So
we're dating, right?
just a little bit.
Is she in love with me or Palomalo?
Right. Can you imagine that walking in? Like,
But wait, so you actually signed babies?
I've signed a baby right on the forehead.
I've signed the baby.
It was a chubby baby.
It's a thing. I don't understand why people want to give up their baby and say, here, sign my baby. We'll lift their little onesie up.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, what we
Now,
doing?
in this case, Jerry, at least to be fair, signed the baby's jersey, did not sign the baby's forehead or arm or belly, and just wrote his initials or whatever he wrote there on the Dak Prescott jersey. Listen, I give Jerry Jones credit. That's a weird spot. It's the knucklehead that's like, I've got a great idea, honey. Let's bring the kid to a practice, throw her over the railing, and have Jerry Jones sign her.
I'm glad they didn't test Jerry's hams on that. They didn't just toss the baby at Jerry. That would have been tragic.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Fumble.
They're like, ah! So, it would have been bad.
All right, one more. Hard Knocks aired again last night. And Randall Cobb, who is obviously in New York for the very first time. And we also found out last night that he and his beautiful wife are expecting a third child.
Yeah.
So congratulations
the Cobb mob.
to the Cobb mob out there. That was a very poignant moment yesterday. But as you saw on Hard Knocks last night, he also let the other wide receivers know one of the keys to earning the trust of Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead.
I was just talking to 12 or 8, and he was just telling me, you know, we had a lot of mistakes in our room today. Just basic stuff, little things, right? Like, we can't have that. And it's all cool right now, but I'm telling you, one day he's going to lose this. It's going to happen if it continues to go the way it's going right now. Because if he don't trust you, he's not going to throw you the ball. I can promise you that. If he don't trust you, he don't not like throwing interceptions. So if he can't trust that you're going to run the right route, he's not going to throw it.
I love that. First of all, let me just say Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets is streaming exclusively on Max, so we appreciate them allowing us to use that video this morning. That's why you got Randall Cobb here.
Yep.
Because guys, I'm not saying they're lazy, but guys aren't on point. And what he's telling them is, I'm telling you right now, if Aaron thinks you're running a specific pattern and he throws the ball to a spot and you're not in that spot and he gets picked, guess what? You ain't never seen the ball again. And you saw that last year a little bit with Watson.
Yeah, look, there's always a lot of talent in a wide receiver room. But just because you're talented and you're athletic and you can make plays and you've gotten away with making plays, you got to understand the concept and the schemes of why we're doing what we're doing. And a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, Randall is spot on. He absolutely despises throwing interceptions.
Can I stop you there for a second? I want to continue, but there's one aspect of that I love. It's got to come from someone other than Aaron. That's the beauty of Randall being the guy saying.
This is why you have a guy. It's just like having a player that echoes the coach's sentiments in the locker room. This is no different. If Aaron comes over there and he says that, it's received a little different.
It's received as a threat.
Yes, but Randall, he understands. He's in the fold. He's a part of who we are as a unit. So if I tell you, I'm trusting because I know your rapport with this man, you've done it for years. I want to be able to be on the receiving end of a lot of his throws. I don't want to be the guy that he can't trust. So if it comes from Randall, it's well received.
Yeah, I'll tell you Randall Cobb's story nobody knows. At the very first Jet full team meeting, there was a guy eating chips in the back of the meeting, and he was ruffling the bag, and it was distracting. And Saleh blew his lid on it because there's a sign that says, in the full team meeting, no food, no beverage. When you guys break out to positions, do what you want. But when we're together as a team, don't bring anything into the room. He didn't know who the player was because it's dark in those little theaters. And he just said, guys, I made it clear, no food, no drink. I don't know who you are, but no food, no drink. After all the practices, Randall Cobb went into Robert Saleh's office and said, Coach, just so you know, that was me, never happened again. And that's the kind of leadership you get with Randall Cobb.
Yeah, two things for me. It goes back to my temperament. I mean, you hit it right on the head. If he can't trust you, he's going to snap, right? So that's why you play him this Saturday, because this young group, this young offense, needs to know what Aaron Rodgers looks like on game day and how short fuse he is. He wants perfection. And on top of that, listen, it's cliche to say, if I can't trust you, I'm not throwing you the ball either, right? Do your job. It's details, especially when you get too deep into the season, man. It's not the talent that just gets you over the hump. It's the minute details.
So I got to ask, did you ever get frozen out?
No, I was already established. He came in fully loaded vehicle.
Did you ever see him freeze a guy out, maybe for a quarter or a series?
Ironically enough, Randall was in that first wave. That was after Aaron's fourth year or so when we acquired Randall Cobb. And so Randall was kind of that guy that had to prove himself. Jordy a little bit, but the rest of us, we were already doing it when Aaron got under center.
That would suck to be frozen out and know you're on the field and you're not going to get the rock.
The words would be open and be like, hey, Aaron. And he's just like, woohoo!
And real quick, one more football note for you here, and that is Stefon Diggs. I was against showing you this, but I lost the battle. Oh, look, he's smiling.
Oh, right. Sonny.
Right. He's happy.
Right.
He's smiling.
What are we doing?
I guess all's good in Buffalo.
What are we doing?
Yeah. This is
all we got to do is smile?
That's it. Every day now. Did Stefon Diggs smile, or was he pouting at practice? Yeah, he was smiling yesterday. And that should wrap up today's edition of Buffalo Bills as the world turns.
I had nothing. Yeah. How are we reporting a guy smiling? He likes his job.
That's what we're doing. He's smiling. He's smiling.
What are we doing?
Yeah, and in Buffalo, that's the lead story on the news last night. Stefon Diggs smiled at practice. Everybody's happy. We're going to win the division. Coming up, we got First in Football, and that includes Joe Burrow and what his coaches think makes him special. You know it ain't his calf after this.
Hey, college football fans, Joel Klatt here. We are bringing you the best college football analysis every week. Any questions? Then send them into the Joel Klatt Show mailbag. Follow the Joel Klatt Show on the Fox Sports app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Brings us now to that guy, Handsome Craig. And that's right, First in Football started in Cincinnati. Nobody knows when Joe Burrow's ever going to play again. But their coaches came out and said one of the things that makes him special is his ability to see the entire field.
Oh, wow.
Kind of Peyton Manning-esque. Yeah. But he ain't playing right now.
He ain't playing and nobody cares. The bottom line, if he's not on the field doing what he does, I think most fans are kind of going to fall out of Joe Burrow's, the ether. I think right now he's fascinating. He's done great things thus far.
Yep.
It's just a matter of him staying relevant and staying healthy.
Well, listen, he's done what no other Bengal quarterback has done.
What happened?
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, Greg.
Fans are going to fall out of...
I fall out of love when the players are injured because I want to see him play. So that's my point.
And he's been injured throughout his career thus far. It's not about his ability.
Yeah, I know.
We know how good he is.
Yeah.
Here's the issue. Look, he has had more postseason success than every Bengal quarterback combined before him. So he represents the hope for a beleaguered city that they might one day actually win a Super Bowl. But as we all know, the AFC's gotten tougher. His division has gotten tougher. Like, if you told me right now that the Cincinnati Bengals came in third place, I would say probably not, but I also wouldn't be shocked. You've got Deshaun Watson in that division. You've got year 200 Kenny Pickett. And we all love Mike Tomlin. Never had a losing season. And, of course, you have what could be best offense in football in the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, for me, I look at Joe Burrow, man. When he's on the field, he's probably arguably 1 or 2 or 3, whatever you want to put him. I think he's up there. I just want to see him remain healthy. Yeah. And I think with the rest of that division as a whole, to your point, it's gotten better, and they will continue to get better. I think the dark horse in that division is obviously Lamar Jackson. I think he has. You talk about chip on your shoulder. He has one because of the bag. And I think now you talk about OBJ. I think he's going to have a good year. Zay Flowers, J.K., Mark Andrews, I think arguably is top 3 best tight end in the league.
Can I ask you guys a question?
He's going to light it up.
You guys have obviously played with guys who had calf injuries, right?
Mm-hmm. And they linger.
And that's my question.
They linger.
It's been almost a month since he hurt his calf, and there's been no update at all, specifically on the recovery from the calf injury. Is that bothersome?
No, because I understand they linger. Like, Aaron has suffered with calf injuries. Like, quarterbacks, when you get these type of injuries and you know how great they are, like, early on right now, you have to protect him right now. You cannot let him go out on the practice field and or the preseason field and take unmeaningful snaps. Like, for me, however what long it takes for him to get back to as close to 100% as possible, you do that because you believe that when he's back on the field, we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's worried about him from the neck up, seeing the field, knowing the offense. I think that's not a problem. It's just to your point, physically, what does he look like? Because he's playing in a tough division.
All right, let me go to our second in football. We'll stay right here in New York. And it's Aaron Rodgers talking about the big fella right there, number 77, the starting right tackle for the New York Jets, Mekhi Becton. Here's Aaron Rodgers on the big fella. Go ahead.
We're part of the group. And whether by his own doing or just the way things fell, I think he might not have felt that way. And it's normal. When you're on injured reserve, and I've been a couple times, it's a tough place to be because you feel isolated from the team. You're outside of, you're not maybe traveling as much, you're not in the meetings.
Yeah, guys have talked about that a lot. The recovery from injury is a lonely place.
Yeah, for me, when I look at Mekhi Becton and I watch him recently, it seems like he's thinking instead of reacting. Now, his first year with the Jets, I thought he was phenomenal.
He was left tackle.
He was a left tackle, but he was a dog at it. And at the time, he had the temperament that you would love to see out of a young lineman. He was a finisher. He played with his pass down. Now, because of the injury with the knee, and you're talking about his weight and all the things that he's gone through on and off the field, you worry about his confidence. I think Saturday's going to be a big telling point from where he's at from the neck up and from the neck down. Physically, he came in shape great.
Yep, lost about 50 pounds.
Lost 15 pounds. I watched him against the Bucks. He finished. Now can he put it all together?
He actually, listen, I don't know how you guys grade and rate offensive linemen the way they do, but the report was that, and I watched the game, Mekhi Becton got the job done in about 25, 30 snaps against Tampa.
Right, he did. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Now against the Giants, and got to talk about the Snoopy Bowl. It's going to be a little fired up, and you got to understand, he has a $100 million quarterback behind him now. So now the expectations are up.
But I think also from Mekhi Becton's standpoint, I know we're talking about an offensive line. A lot of you don't know. Just indulge me for a second. If he has a great year, he's looking at a $100 million contract.
Oh, because of his size alone, too. He has general, he reminds me of Jonathan Ogden. That's what I'm trying to say overall. So when you got a guy that big who can be a staple of your franchise and be a corner piece, if he has a great year, which I hope he does, which I really do. I like the big fella. I just want to stay healthy and continue to be confident in his abilities.
So I love what Aaron is doing. I absolutely love what Aaron is doing. Like, when you think about putting yourself or trying to bring somebody into the fold and make them feel a part, you got to put them in their put yourself in their shoes.
Right.
That's what he just did. He related himself to being in that situation where he was away from the team, recovering from injury. I know what it feels like. Like, we heard him on Hard Knocks a few weeks ago talk about, let's grab some time, let's get some lunch.
Let's
get to know each other. All he's doing is pouring into this young man so that his confidence, which is one thing that I don't think the average fan thinks, just because we play this sport at such a high level, we start to question ourselves at times. But when you get injured, and you get injured consecutively, you start to see guys have success and you start to question, man, can I still do this? And when you don't have that same trust and confidence, it shows when you go out there, and you can't have that. Aaron Rodgers knows it. He's pouring this confidence. He's pouring confidence in this young man. And if he gets his confidence, like you said, you've seen him
I can tell you what right now, with Dwayne Brown coming off the PUP list this week and being cleared now as a former Pro Bowl offensive lineman with more than 200 career starts, and Connor McGovern doing a really good job at center, and Mekhi Becton being the right tackle, what has been a problem for the Jets the last 3 weeks all of a sudden is not a problem. That becomes a very good, maybe not great, but a very good offensive line that can protect Aaron Rodgers.
Well, let me tell you, being a guy who played for the Steelers in 08 when we won our Super Bowl, I can remember being in the offseason. And I was sitting down eating breakfast. I was reading the paper, and the first thing across the headline said, Steelers are Super Bowl bound, but if they don't make it, it's because of one reason. And they put the offensive line, and there was a screenshot, like kind of a picture of us kind of walking onto the field.
Yeah.
And that year, going into that, we started off rocket. We lost our left tackle, Big Mac Starks, who was our right tackle, had to convert over to left tackle because we lost Marvell Smith. Our rookie right guard, which was a free agent, was now starting next to me. And we had to find ourselves, and we didn't play great, right? We kind of went through the osmosis, and our defense was lights out. Ben was great. Everybody was great except the offensive line. But I tell you one thing that happened. We stopped caring. We stopped caring about what everybody was saying, and we started believing in ourselves. This offensive line is going to go through what they're going to go through, but they can't give up on each other, and they're going to have to lean on each other. If they're able to do that, they're going to hit the stride at the right time and walk into the playoffs a really good unit.
All right, let me go to our third in football. We go down to Tampa. Baker Mayfield. Woohoo! I love you, Baker. I expect to be a starter. I know how talented I am. I love this. I know what type of leader I am. Just ask Carolina. They love them there. Now it's just time for the real thing. It's a special honor, living out a dream, but now's not the time to be satisfied. Baker Mayfield is QB1 in Tampa, and it's going to go the way it always goes. He's going to have some moments. It's going to be rah-rah, and then it's going to go south very quickly.
I said this behind the curtain. The best thing Baker Mayfield has done thus far is turn off social media. He's canceled the social media.
Smart.
It's all about football. It's all about his development. It's all about him giving himself a
Let me ask you a question. Do guys in a locker room, when they see a guy who hasn't yet earned it, getting all the endorsements and on TV, doing insurance commercials and bank commercials and whatever the commercials are, do guys get ticked off because they're like, yo, dude's only been here a minute. Why is he getting all that?
I don't. You know, I'm never going to get mad at a guy's celebrity. I just want him to perform. When he doesn't perform, that's where I'm like, all right, homie, you're distracted, right? We need to
stop doing all the commercials and start reading your playbook.
Correct.
That type of thing,
That's
right?
the only thing. You got to perform. If you're getting all these opportunities, great, good for you. But all we care about, I don't care about what you're doing off the field. How can you help us?
Yeah, speaking of commercials, I should mention that Aaron Rodgers has lost his State Farm endorsement.
Really?
Yep.
None of this no more?
No more. The belt is gone.
Double count discount?
The belt is gone, yeah.
Oh,
True story. I guess Steph took all the money. And let me give you a fourth and football right quick. Brandon Staley talking about the wide receivers on the LA Chargers and comparing them yet again to a basketball team. Look, they're tall.
And black. You can say it. Let's say it, America. Tall, black, and flashy. I know what you're saying. Just come on out with it. Just not walk around it, Carton.
I ain't going there. But that's for the starting five on a G League team. How's that?
I mean, listen, you talk about Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson, Kareem Allen, Joshua Palmer, all those guys, I mean, they're long drink of water.
Isn't Staley the guy a couple weeks ago that said he talked to Steve Kerr?
He is.
He can't help the basketball references.
He can't help the basketball references right now. Look, this is the type of receiver that they like. It was an insurance policy in my mind when you get a guy like Quentin Johnson, and because of the injuries that they've sustained with Mike Williams, to ensure that we have another guy that if he goes down again, Justin Herbert has another weapon. So
look,
I love the
You've got a stacked wide receiver room. If I'm Justin Herbert, I'm a kid in a candy store, right?
Oh, no question. I love Justin Herbert. I'm a big fan. I'm always about Herbert. I think he's stoic, but he also gets the job done. He's legit. He's a dog. I watched last year when he went against Kansas City Chiefs in the last drive. He hurt his ribs, right? And then he said, no, I'm not getting out of this game. I'm finishing it. And he showed the team that he's about that life, so to speak. So I love Justin Herbert, and now he has the weapons on the outside to get it done.
Yeah, again, health, if they stay healthy, Williams especially, that's a 5,000-yard kind of year for Justin Herbert. All right, we got much more to do. We got Willie Colon, we got Greg Jennings, and we got Mitch Show headlines. The big man's hungry. Can we get him a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich?
Don't spoon my bagel.
Hey, college football fans, this is RJ Young, host of Fox Sports' #1 college football show. The biggest names, the biggest games. The theme is we do it big on this here thing. Please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, college football fans, this is RJ Young, host of Fox Sports' #1 college football show. The biggest names, the biggest games. The theme is we do it big on this here thing. Please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back. It's the Carton Show, and we have Willie Colon, Super Bowl champion.
That is I.
Pittsburgh Steelers right there. That's right. Are you not entertained?
Are you not?
And Craig Jennings, a Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer, and also a Super Bowl champion. So I'm the only guy without the ring. All good. Let's go to headlines. Robert Saleh acknowledges what we all have known for 2 days now, and that is that the starters, namely Aaron Rodgers, is going to be playing on Saturday night against the New York Giants. Here is Robert Saleh talking about why he made the decision and why you can't worry about guys getting hurt in the preseason. Go.
Can't coach scared. Can't play scared. You can slip out of your car and have something happen to you. But we'll be. Knock on wood, everyone will be fine. You see some of the great ones out there. Kansas City's playing their guys, Buffalo's playing their guys. It's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's a story because it's Aaron Rodgers, but a veteran quarterback getting a couple snaps in the preseason is more the norm than the anomaly. And let's be honest, as a Jet fan, I do want to see Aaron Rodgers on the field before the regular season starts because I just don't know. Right? I don't know. Offensive line. I don't know. Are he and Garrett Wilson right from Jump Street going to be on the same page and kill it? I want to see it.
Well, I'm being 100 with you. There are a lot of I don't knows, and partially the pressure is because they are playing Buffalo on Monday night in MetLife. Now, I'm going to say this. If it was the Carolina Panthers on Monday night, Aaron's not playing this game. He's not. Why? Because he knows Aaron can come off the couch and beat the Carolina Panthers.
Got it.
But the fact that is the Buffalo Bills, that daunted defense, and the offensive line that's going to have to protect his tail off because it's going to be led by Von Miller and a defense who knows they're playing in the division game. The lights are going to be on. Monday Night Football is huge. I loved playing on Monday Night Football, not just solely because it's Monday Night Football, because everybody in America is watching, to your kindergarten teacher to the crossing guard, right? Everybody's going to be all eyes on you.
Right.
So for me, Aaron Rodgers has to put on his best performance September. I think it's probably one of the most pivotal games of the season for the New York Jets.
So it's a dumb question. You guys do view Monday nights differently.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah. I get it, but not everybody feels that way. It's just another game.
Love playing in the game, hate the process up to the game because it's a long.
Because you are creatures of habit. Most players I've talked to have always said, give me Sunday at 1 o'clock. I want to play Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Those are teams that used to lose.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, that's the Jets. Every Jet I've ever talked to has told me, Craig, we don't like 4 o'clock. We don't like Sunday night, Monday night.
I wanted the lights. I wanted to hear them dun, 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 dun. I wanted all that. So, one of that.
You're talking like you one of them skilled guys out there.
Yes, that's why I'm sitting next to you. What are you talking about? I'm highly skilled there, Greg. No, my point is it's playing underneath the lights, the pressure that comes with it, watching the rest of the league play and know that everybody's going to be watching you because when you play in the primetime slot, that means you're the big dog on the block.
All right, so then
I loved it.
Here's the real question. Assuming Aaron Rodgers plays, and I'm making this up because we don't know, 2 series, whatever amount of plays that is, are you playing the half?
You got to play him a half.
Why?
Because if he doesn't look, and I understand before everybody's just like, well, if he gets hurt, it's all over. I get all that. My point is, you got to allow him to go through his maturation period. You got to allow him to kind of get fine-tuned with the offensive line and the receivers. You got to allow him to work out the kinks. One series he scores, fine. We expect him to score. But it's about the supporting cast around him. They have to level up and get on Aaron Rodgers' level. And you're not going to do that in one series.
So they have a 7-play drive, score a touchdown. You want more?
I do.
Got it.
I do. Okay. I saw Patrick Mahomes do it. and he looked fine.
Yeah.
So why can't Aaron Rodgers do it?
I saw Patrick Mahomes do it in the first preseason game and then the second preseason game, the third preseason game, the final preseason game of the preseason. You're going to have a lot of bubble guys playing across from you. You don't want your quarterback out there like that. So for me, no, it's a dress rehearsal. And why you have dress rehearsals is so when the real thing happens, everybody knows what to expect, how I'm going to perform, what I'm going to demand of them. You give them a quick little dress rehearsal. If he has a 6, 7, 8 play drive and you score, I don't need to see any more.
Yeah.
I've seen what I
would
need
say
to
this also. I think he makes a good point. If I'm an on the bubble, linebacker, defensive tackle, whatever it is, and I've got a shot to take out Aaron Rodgers,
absolutely,
I'm doing it.
I mean, that's kind of dark. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, I want this offense to be as fine and fine-tuned on Monday night, and you're not going to get that in one series. I understand he scores if he doesn't. I want to see him go through a half. Give me something.
So
I'd be shocked if he plays a whole.
No, he probably won't. But I'm telling you, as a fan, I would like to see more, not just one series.
Craig?
No, I'm gonna let it rest there because for me, if that were the case, you play him in the second preseason game.
But they couldn't.
Carolina game.
But they couldn't because the offensive line was hurt. Lincoln and AVT was out due to injuries, and Dwayne is just coming back. So you're not going to put him behind a botched offensive line.
Right.
You're going to put him against the best you have on the.
Well, here's Aaron Rodgers talking about how much he's looking forward to actually being out there for the final preseason game. Here's Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that risk reward. I think over the years, it just hasn't made sense based on a number of different factors, but I used to enjoy playing the preseason back in my younger years, just to kind of maybe take that first hit or feel the kind of the nerves in the first drive. So I look forward to being out there.
Yeah, I think your point now that I'm processing it is why he didn't play and why he is playing.
Yeah.
The offensive line's now healthy. Dwayne Brown at left tackle, Mekhi Becton at right tackle. This is the offensive line.
Correct.
We're not putting him in harm's way because we have a legitimate offensive line.
100%. And on top of that, I expect him the first drive to look great. It's what we talked when we was watching Randall Cobb talk about. It's about the trust and about him leveling up to what he's capable of doing during the first half.
There's a flip side to that, though. From a Jet fan perspective, it's played out. They go out there Saturday night against the Giants, and they look like crap. It's panic. It's going to be panic.
But you got to let them work through it.
Falling.
Allow them to work through it. Allow that offense to work through it. At least a half.
But you know how it's going to be in New York. It's going to be Chicken Little everywhere.
And to your point, like the attention obviously is going to be on the offensive line. But we heard Randall Cobb. We heard what he said to those receivers. They've been making some mental errors and having mental errors as well. So it's not just about the offensive line. It's about the entire unit and performing to the expectation of our quarterback.
But you also got to work through that, right?
You do.
So if there's distrust, if there's mayhem, and they, for whatever reason, not on the same accord, that's not all going to get solved in one series.
It's not.
And in real game, there's 4 quarters you got to play. And how you start here, how you start in the first half, you don't have to start in the second half. It's up. It's about the ebb and flows, man. So I just want to see him work through all that. That's what I'm saying.
Look, I'm happy he's playing, but as a diehard Jet fan,
scared.
I know exactly what I'm looking at.
Scared. Yeah.
Anything, like if they go 3 and out, oh my God, it's going to be bad.
Well, what's wrong?
Like they just need a single first down.
Yeah.
They don't have to score a touchdown because I'm telling you now, if they go 3 and out,
They're
and
coming
he's
back
throwing
out
the
there.
ball away, or he's throwing it into the ground because dude's not open, or he ran the wrong route, or the left tackle, Dwayne Brown's slow because he hasn't been on the field in 6 months. I know what it's going to be like for Jet fans.
Do you see it?
I know
Snappy
it's gonna be
Aaron.
like.
Look at the temper. That's what's coming at us, New York. And unhinged Aaron Rodgers. You got to let him work through this.
Let me tell you something. Monday's going to be a very tough day for me.
Oh, no question.
If it goes south, again, it's a meaningless game. If it doesn't go well, there's going to be panic in the streets of New York, led by me.
He's the last person that's going to panic.
I'm the first.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We're not going to see that Aaron Rodgers in this preseason game. Regardless of what happens.
I don't know.
He might get hot, he might get a little hostile, but he's going to control. You said temperament, and I'm gonna tell you why, because in this moment, everything has been about making deposits, the correct type of deposits. This team has suffered too many withdrawals, especially at the quarterback and from the quarterback position. He's coming in here trying to erase all of that and reestablish, like, you don't have to worry about this. You have to raise to my level of play. If that is the case, yes, I'm going to have to whip some things into shape. but I can't break you down in a preseason game.
I feel like if they don't look up to par and where they need to be, he's going to be an absolute curmudgeon. I think he's going to be cranky. I think he's going to be upset. I think he's going to be bad. So my point, once again, you got to work through all that. One series is not going to give me all that.
Right.
You showing up Monday night in MetLife, all of New York will be in the building. But everybody will be watching. Aaron Rodgers does not like being embarrassed. He said he doesn't like throwing interceptions. He likes being considered the elite. If he doesn't look on par, he's going to be pissed off. He's going to be throwing paint everywhere. It's going to look like a PETA protest. It's going to be bad. So please.
You're correct. However, Aaron understands all of what you're saying, too, better than even we do. And so with him understanding this, you think naturally he's going into this believing, it's going to look amazing.
No, but I think this young receiving core need to see what Aaron Rodgers looks like in game mode, not practice mode, that he's on a different level.
I agree.
His attention to the details different. His tolerance is going to be way different. If you're new to this and you're new to it, a Hall of Fame quarterback, it could be shocking when he walks down the end of the bench and be like, hey, bozo, why weren't you there? The window was there.
Look,
Garrett Wilson didn't hear that from Zach Wilson.
In 60 years of New York Jets football, we've had an all-pro quarterback 4 times. Joe Namath, Vinny Testaverde, Boomer Esiason, and Brett Favre. There's an expectation that he becomes the 5th and the best of all those guys. And I'm telling you right now, if they look like crap on Saturday night and the New York Giants run off with the Snoopy trophy, right, which is what they'll do, I can tell you.
It's copper. It's not even gold.
If you think we're upset about the Yankees, wait till you see what happens with Jet fans. If the Jet offense looks like crap, it is going to be Armageddon in the streets of New York City. Which brings me to Kansas City, where they know 2 things, barbecue and good football. And Kansas City right now is also trying to figure out why they have a defensive tackle that they acknowledge should be the 2nd highest paid defensive tackle in all football behind Aaron Donald. They acknowledge that publicly. He says, I'm not coming back till you do it. And yet it's not only not done on social media yesterday when he was asked, how long are you going to hold out for? He goes, I'm going to wait till week 8. I can afford it. That's a bad look for Kansas City.
I'm disturbed by it because I understand the big fella's impact with that team. You talk about last year, he was so impactful with dealing with double teams. They moved him around. They had to put him at the defensive end spot. They had him at nose, and he was still kicking tail. So he is the guy. I get that. But come to work. Come to work. The bottom line, you're going to get paid. Stay loyal, stay hungry. You're going to still be that guy. But if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you're kind of scoffing at this. Why? Because you got Patrick Mahomes. You got an offensive line that's kicking butt. You got 2 young tackles, Jawan Taylor, Donovan Smith. They've done great. They've elevated their offensive line play ever since Eric Fisher was at tackle for them, right? They've gotten better. And for me, when I look at this Chiefs team, their offense, who scored 29 points last season, can continue to be the best offense where they don't need the defense to win them games. That offense can do enough, as long as you got that man right there.
Well, it's funny, it's an offense that has not given Patrick Mahomes a lot of talent, so everyone expects that he just raises everybody's game, which he probably will because that's what he's done, kind of like Tom Brady. But that defense has not been dominant. Chris Jones gives them a dominant force on defense that gets to the quarterback better than just about anybody else in football.
And there lies a problem for me because this is why this is a big deal. Chris Jones has to get there because typically the last to the party has been the defense for the Kansas City Chiefs. They've turned it on when necessary, and typically when they do turn it on, the guy that sets it off is that guy that's not going to be there.
They don't have 2 Super Bowl championships without Chris Jones on the field. They just don't.
Facts.
He's Patrick Mahomes for that defense. And the thing, you look at if he does hold out, the first 8 weeks, which again I don't think is going to happen. But you look at the schedule they got. Again, I'm not saying you got 9 Patrick Mahomes you're going against, but you got Goff, you got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, who you think is going to have a huge year.
Love him.
Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, and Justin Herbert. You need Chris Jones on the field to combat those quarterbacks.
I know you like the Lions. I like the Lions. And I'm going to talk about this week 1 game, Thursday night, opening game of the season. You got the Lions, who have arguably one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in the National Football League. You don't have your big guy that's going to apply pressure. That could be a problem. Everybody will look past the Lions, but this team is coming in trying to make noise.
Outscore everybody.
Hands down.
You can't. But if you say to them, look, I need 35 every week, you're not going to win every game.
But at the same time, this is the same outfit in the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been down big before, come out in the second half and look like a total different team in one game. So if you have that in your wheelhouse, you know you can say, like, we're going to be okay.
They've done those things with Chris Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, but once again, you have an upright quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who's an absolute magician with the football, and an offensive line who has gotten better in the pieces. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, the real problem with the Chris Jones contract is actually Quinnen Williams. Because Quinnen Williams is the heir apparent to Chris Jones and Aaron Donald. I think it's fair to say. He signed a deal with the New York Jets that pays him on average $24 million a year. Aaron Donald's at 31. So Chris Jones, according to the reports out of Kansas City, wants to get to 30. But Quinnen Williams, who's younger than you, just signed for 96 total, 24 a year. So they're trying to bridge the gap between 24 and 31. They're not there yet.
No, I'm not. I'm never going to get in a man's pockets. But at the end of the day, you're winning, right? Like, winning to me means more. Because when you know, Greg, when you win during your career, you're not only going to get the bag then, but off the field, you're going to get the bag. You're going to get different things that's going to open up for you. So I understand why he wants to get paid. He's young. He's hungry. He's impactful. They need him. They know they need him. But at the end of the day, you're going to get paid. Andy Reid knows what's up. So it's like,
and by the way, the GM has come out and said he deserves it.
Yeah, like,
so
they're not against him.
But I agree with what you said earlier. If I'm Chris Jones, show up so you're not incurring these dopey fines and pull a hamstring. Wink, wink, wada-doodle.
And stay in shape, right? And stay in shape. You want to come back week 8? Stay in shape.
Chris Jones wasn't going to play but 5 snaps this preseason anyway, right? So show up and just pull the old, oh, man. Yeah, and I just need an ice bath. I'm good, coach. I'll see you after lunch. I mean, that's all you got to do, right? That's what I would do, at least. But
I hear you. I'm not
horrible, Craig.
And that brings us to the final headline of the day. For this headline, I'm just going to turn it over to my partner here.
Please.
Mr. Willie.
Why are we doing this? We know what's happening. The Yankees are god-awful. They're hard to watch. None of our impact players outside of Garrett Cole are doing anything for us right now.
Yeah.
And right now, the Yankees, Yankee Nation, I know you think it's over, but it's not over. Stay the course.
It's over. Willie, what year were you born, bud?
It's over.
83.
1983, same as Greg Jennings.
Absolutely.
In your lifetime, you have not seen a 9-game losing streak out of the New York Yankees because it hasn't happened since the year before you were born.
What do you want me to do with that? Like, I don't know what to say. Like, we can't, like, and I know a lot of people are calling for Captain's head. I'm not saying I'm against that. But I like Aaron Boone.
Yes,
I'm a fan of Aaron Boone. I think a lot of people say, like, oh, Aaron Boone is, he can't, no, he's a player's coach. I don't think anybody in that dugout is against Aaron Boone. They're going through a lull. Judge set him back.
Yes.
Judge set him back. LeMahieu can't find his bat, right? We've lost some significant pieces. I get all that. But steady the course.
Yeah.
We're on fire, but we're not killed. We're not dead.
No, it's dead.
No!
It's John Wick dead.
Aaron Boone's clearly not the problem. If you take a look at our lower third, Aaron Boone is excited.
He's pulling the Carton off. He's hitting the people with the Carton.
He knows what's up.
To be fair, that's what he was mocking the whole
Is that what it is?
for bad balls and strike calls right there. Now, you and I are different in this regard.
Yeah.
I hope they keep losing. Every game. Lose again tonight. Lose again tomorrow. Lose again on Friday. Just keep on losing. Because the owner came out a month ago and said, I don't understand why Yankee fans are so upset. Now you know.
Yeah.
You need to have
They don't need to
put
look
on
anymore
a
for
platter
the Yankee fans.
right in front of your face. That's why we're upset.
And
I'm a fake Yankee fan.
Well, we're not only just upset, we don't look like ourselves, right? There's no rally, there's no spunk, there's no fight. We look
dead.
dead.
They're dead
And so that's why Yankee fans are like, man, who are we and what are we right now? We've lost our identity of the season and it hurts.
So it's been 9 consecutive losses for the most storied franchise in all sports. If they lose tonight to the Washington Nationals, they will get to 10. That has not happened for this
10 and
franchise.
a half, right? Back?
I just want to give you the history of this, right? Cars didn't exist.
What?
The last time the New York Yankees lost 10 consecutive
We want
games.
horses?
Horses.
And you say it's not over.
It's never over until it's over, Carton. You never know. I just can't give up on them. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just
Horses. There you go. Horses.
What do you want me to do?
All right, we got our favorite Wednesday segment coming up after the break. It's a little something we like to call
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect for really probably get me fired. But it's coming up right after this.
the Wednesday?
I've got a guy on staff who sends me topless photos of himself all the time.
What the
He did a swim move on a fat 9-year-old.
What the
Stop the fight! Stop the fight!
What the
He did try a backup sculpture that I've not seen yet. Oh, come on. Well represented right there. Sometimes life imitates art. Sometimes it goes the other way. All right, we got Willie Colon, we got Greg Jennings. It's everybody's. Oh, this is your hat. I'm sorry, bud. There you go. You have a much bigger head than I do. It's the name of the segment. Play for them. What's it called again? All right, let me start off just to get you kind of into the mix here, Willie. The New York Yankees.
Let's go.
Just dig, right? It's like a tick. You just keep on digging.
The New York Yankees have now lost 9 consecutive games. Only mustered 1 run last night against the Nationals. They have not lost 9 consecutive games since 1982. You were not born, although you might have been swimming. You were not born. You might have been swimming as well. I was 13.
Were you?
Yes, I wore Capizios and I had a perm.
He's probably ripping cowboy killers. 13.
And I used a lot of Dracar Noir cologne. that I can tell you, but 9 straight losses for the most storied franchise in all of baseball. Collectively, we say, hey, New York Yankees!
What the?
No, we need Willie to say this.
Willie, take it away.
What do you want to say? What the F?
No, they'll say for you.
Oh.
You just say, hey, New York.
Hey, New York!
What the?
Okay.
Yeah, have you ever been this embarrassed to be a Yankee
No, it's
fan?
embarrassing. I told you I took the wife to the game Sunday, and it was a hard watch to the point where she's more interested in the chicken tenders than actually what was going on in Diamond. So,
the chicken tenders cost $18.50 for a half
awkward.
a dozen.
The margarita's fantastic, by the way.
Let's go to number 2. Aaron Rodgers spoke about Bryce Hall, second-year running back for the New York Jets, coming off the torn ACL. Let's hear what Aaron Rodgers had to say about a part of Bryce's physique that he likes a lot.
So you're watching Bryce, and it might not look like he's going like that fast, but nobody catches him. I mean, he has elite speed, and he also has got a big old hind end, and he's put together pretty well for a running back.
I'm sorry?
Is he trying to say Bryce Hall got a BBL during
You know what I mean?
What are we doing right now? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Look at that tuchus.
Look at that.
What?
There's nothing like a hot bubble butt.
Really
Fans can make him dance.
Are we really doing this right now?
We're not doing it. Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers doing it, but we're endorsing it.
Yes, we are.
I mean, to the production team, Aaron Rodgers.
What the?
If I may, can you just go full screen on that slow motion, please?
Oh, yeah.
Let me can I just have a little joy on a Wednesday? Oh, backwards and forwards. Look at that.
That must be jam because jelly don't shake like that.
By the way, they made. I told you I wanted to do a late night show.
Did you?
They did come out and say, I assume this is a fast number, that they clocked him on a carry yesterday practice, and Bryce Hall, once he got the ball in pads, was clocked at 21 miles per hour.
Ooh, coming off the
ACL.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's speed, right?
And I think we haven't had a long distance back like that. I mean, a guy that could take it the yard since, Ivory can do it when I played with him.
Chris Ivory, right?
Curtis Martin is obviously the guy who, once he got to the second level, it was 88 out the gate. He does that. He has that skill set.
Yeah, anyhow, for those of you out there that go to Brazil or Guatemala to get butt implants, no need.
Don't do it.
No need, because my guy, Bryce Hall, has got ass for days. Hey, Aaron Rodgers!
What the?
There you go.
Got cakes.
All right, Kardashians. All right, here we go. All right, Patrick Mahomes took more snaps than all the Kansas City Chiefs quarterbacks in their last preseason game against the Cardinals. There's your full screen. And when we talk about, how much should Aaron Rodgers play? Josh Allen played a little bit. Dak Prescott's not playing. Mike McCarthy. The risk of having Mahomes out there for 20 snaps, one might say to Kansas City,
what the?
Yeah, that's right. What do you think?
I don't mind it because he can handle it, and I've talked about it before. This offensive line has protected him, and they understand he's worth the house. So they got to keep him upright. As long as he's upright, he's going to be safe with the football and do what he does. So I'm
Greg?
okay.
Yeah, for me, you trust a quarterback to go out there like Patrick Mahomes and not take those hits, even if the offensive line does break down, get rid of the ball and do what's right for you and the team moving forward.
Yeah,
so
he's smart and he's savvy. He'd be fine.
All right, let's go down to Dallas. There's a Dallas Cowboy fan who thought so little of her 18-month-old child that she passed the little girl down 7 rows of fans over a railing.
I know.
So that an 80-year-old billionaire could sign his name on her chest. That's Jerry Jones. Right. Not a random 80-year-old, because that'd be weird. But, all right, pass the baby back.
Right. Jerry, give me my baby. I'm okay with it. Jerry looks like he's enthused to sign Dak Prescott's jersey.
Look how happy he is.
Oh, yeah, the baby looks like he's about to throw up, by the way.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jerry Jones is like, we just made another $89.99 on Fanatics because that jersey's expensive.
Baby looks like it's like, how did I get here?
No, there's going to come a point when that baby is actually talking, and they show that video like as a badge of honor, and that little girl's going to go,
where is it? There it goes.
Maybe they'll push the button eventually. They know the segment we're doing, right?
What the?
Hey.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Little pause on there.
Wait, so Mom, you're saying you passed me down to strangers over a barrier to Jerry Jones.
And they're lazy parents. I'm pretty sure there's players somewhere. Dak wasn't walking the field. You just handed the baby.
Yeah, they couldn't get Dak to sign it. All right, let me go to the next one. Kyle Shanahan out in San Francisco. It's already been established, of course, that Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback out there. The big debate now is who's the number 2 quarterback, who's the emergency quarterback. Kyle Shanahan announced yesterday that he will announce who the number 2 quarterback is sometime before the season opener. Really?
Like, I'm at this point when it comes to let me know who the number 1 guy is. The number 2 guy, I don't care about that. Like, for team morale, you can say whatever you need to say. We don't need to know who the number 2 guy is. We need to know who the number 1 guy is.
No one cares who the backup quarterback is.
I disagree with that. You know why? Because Brock Purdy's coming off injury, right? And if this thing goes left, you're going to have to depend on a number 2, a healthy number 2. That's why I'm going with Sam Darnold, because I think he gives them the most confidence. I had a number 2 in Charlie Batch, who was a great blanket for Ben. Ben was a rock and roll quarterback who took a lot of hits. He was hard to get down, but he suffered with some injuries. What gave us confidence as a unit, as an offensive unit, that number 2, Charlie Batch, was just as capable of getting the job done. So especially when you go on the road, your number 2 is just
he wasn't just as capable as Ben Roethlisberger.
But my point is, he can get the job done. There was no.
He
could run the offense.
Competent. He could run the offense. When you scored, there wasn't a setback. You need to know who your number 2 is.
Kyle Shanahan.
What the?
Yeah, all right, let's go from there to the Little League. I'm going to take that off for you.
Please.
You shouldn't be associated with that brand anymore.
Are we going back to the Yankees?
All right.
Don't throw the hat.
Let's go to the Little League World Series. We all love watching it, right? There's a 12-year-old kid playing for Team Mexico who is dying to get on base. So what did he do? He lowered the strike zone.
One margarita.
Yeah. And that's a strike right there.
Wow. Was it?
Yeah, they called that a strike, but
why is he doing that?
My man, because he wanted to get on base. Yeah. So I'll show it to you one more time. This is his attempt to draw a walk.
I mean, Jesus.
Hey, Tim, it reminds me of you a little bit.
Man.
I know. You're good. It's too hard to under there. But yeah, try to get a walk. But hey, manager of Team Mexico.
What the?
Yeah, this is terrible. Like, as if I'm
Can't be good for the sport of
No,
baseball.
not at all.
Well, they called him a strike. It didn't work, but it was clever.
Oh, they were calling him a strike. I wasn't even paying
because
attention.
you're actually not allowed to do that.
Okay.
Your strike zone is based on you standing. Even if you squat down like this, it doesn't change the strike zone.
Okay, I'm like, when did this become a
And it's
thing?
also poor sportsmanship.
Horrible sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Like, just earn it.
Of course, when you beat teams by 17 runs, that's not good sportsmanship either.
Yeah.
But Team Mexico.
What the?
All right. My main man, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, not up for debate, got off his yacht and was walking along the steps of a marina. What country is this in? This is in Italy. Well, obviously, if you're Michael Jordan, you get recognized no matter what country you're in.
Yeah.
But in Italy, since they don't speak English, they speak a guttural language that all of us can appreciate and know exactly what they mean. Play the farm animal sounds. Go ahead.
That's classic, though.
Well, look, he doesn't speak Italian.
Right.
They don't speak English. So what's the universal language? Goat sounds.
I get it, but I mean, I'm used to it. Usually when I used to hit the cafeteria hall, I used to hear oink oink sounds. So
Yes.
it goes
Here he
hand in hand.
comes.
Oink oink. Right. So I get it. No, Mike is probably used to it. I'm pretty sure he's humbled by it.
Now, we've seen that, LeBron demands that his teammates do that when he goes into the Laker locker room. Michael Jordan just shows up. He ain't looking for attention, and he gets the goat sounds.
Yeah.
Hey, Italian fisherman. There you go. Let me go out to one of the most maligned basketball players in the NBA, who we've made a lot of fun of on this show for looking like Willie Colon.
Hey!
But Zion Williamson has been in the gym. Doesn't mean he's going to be healthy. But
look at that.
Yoked.
Whoa.
How about that? Yeah.
Let's go, Zion. I see you on that
I like that.
win.
That I've never seen Zion, and I'm not sure if that's Photoshop, but my man looks like he's in the best shape of his life.
He looks like DJ Metcalf.
Which is also,
Okay,
if you're dating multiple Instagram models, you might want to stay in shape, right?
Right. You got to look good in the bedroom and on the court.
No doubt
Way
about it.
to put in the work.
Hey, Zion haters.
What the?
Yeah, Zion might be back.
Yeah,
and hopefully he'll be a Knick before his career ends.
That would be amazing.
Real quick, I got two more for you. Do I have time? I think I got time for two more. A lot of people like to collect, sports memorabilia, hats, balls,
Do you
bats.
collect memorabilia?
I don't. I'm not a memorabilia guy.
I can see that.
Because I don't care that you guys play
Right.
sports. It's irrelevant to me.
Of course.
Most guys, let's blow smoke up the athlete's ass. Not me.
Yeah,
you ain't
of course.
special
That
to
Craig,
me.
he just have us on the show.
That I just appreciate it.
We'll see the story
There's
today
a
when you go to Jets camp.
77-year-old guy in Las Vegas trying to sell his house for $1.2 million. It's not worth $1.2 million, but something on the inside makes it more valuable. Show him what we got. My man has a collection of over 2,000 college and pro football helmets.
Everything's
not autographed, just on display in every single room of his house. Over 2,000 helmets. The guy is almost 80 years old, and the problem is that prospective buyers have no interest.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he has to be single, right? Like get a life. Like, what are we doing right now? Like,
He's got to be single.
He got to be single. Right?
His wife's body's been missing for a number of years. Why, you look so unhappy, Greg?
Guys, can we just
What the?
Yeah, he's a collector, Greg.
I get it, but look, I played the sport. I love the game, but I'm not doing that.
I'm sorry, sir. The few times you've been on this show from home, you sit in front of what?
One?
Excuse me?
One
You sit in front of what?
One
Michael
frame
Jordan?
jersey.
He sits in front of his own jersey and helmet.
Oh, you're that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
You
now
hate to see it.
I need
You hate to see it. Let it go. Cut the cord, bro.
Now I need to explain. Because my basement had to get remodeled because of water damage.
Yeah, okay.
It is literally the only thing.
Now we're blaming the Wi-Fi. I got it.
It is literally the only thing.
He's like,
that's
honey,
hanging in that
where
area.
should I put the camera for the big national show? Oh, in front of my own jersey. Okay, sure.
Oh, man.
And you should watch him pre-show. He's always squaring up so we can get a good
Greg.
This is where we're at?
I gotta say this. Yo, Greg Jennings.
No.
What
Woo! Shots fired.
And
Okay.
then, the final one for you caused a big debate amongst our production staff this morning. There's a image going viral on the internet, and it's not Oliver Anthony singing about welfare. It's about that animal right there. There's the notion that that is a spotless giraffe. I'm calling BS on it. What? I just think it's a llama.
I see llama too.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Willie Colon.
That's not a giraffe.
It's a giraffe.
Now, there is a mother giraffe in the pen. but that's just to throw us off, Greg.
It's a giraffe.
That ain't no giraffe, that's a llama.
She's been sleeping around because he doesn't have any spots. Mom got some questioning to do.
That llama's going to go to 23andMe and learn to get hard.
Oh, Rick the giraffe. I love you, Dad.
Anyhow, cheating giraffe. All right, coming up after the break, it's First in Football and the question of whether or not Justin Jefferson is going to hold on to the title of the best wide receiver in the NFL. The guys will answer that right after this.
Uh-oh.
Great to have Super Bowl champion Willie Colon here, and of course Greg Jennings as well. And that handsome guy, as you know, lives on the corner of First in Football. How about Justin Jefferson? Arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. He talked about how his play on the field will ultimately dictate how much money he's going to get in his career. And I love what he had to say. Go ahead.
My play on the field will give me the bucks off the field. So
I have a feeling you're going to get paid.
hopefully, but that's not my main concern. I just want to be connected with my team. Just have that mindset with my team that it's not all about the money. You know, I'm not going to just sit out on my contract. It's all about the team. It's all about getting to that Super Bowl at the end of the day.
Look, privately, it's all about the money. Publicly, I love that.
Yeah, he's saying it right
because
there.
that's the exact right thing to say publicly. Behind the scenes, his agent saying, yo, Minnesota, highest paid receiver in the history of football, and that's probably what he'll get. But publicly, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy that he's at least trying to stay out the headlines, even though we're talking about it. But I love Justin Jefferson. I think he has one of the best releases off the line. I think his separation game is phenomenal. His footwork is impeccable. I think next to him is obviously Devontae Adams. So I love everything about him, but I think he's doing the right things by not being a distraction.
Like,
he
not
is
just
going to
that,
get
Willie.
paid.
How many times have we heard great players, and it's happened from time to time, but not a lot, come out and go, I'm just going to let my play do the talking. I know the money's going to be there as long as I do my job. I love that.
Yeah, look, when we've seen a guy like Randy Moss come in and take the league by storm, and then there's a young man that wears the same uniform for the same team and comes and breaks those records, you are special. You don't need to talk. All you have to do is play. You're going to get paid. I love absolutely everything about Justin Jefferson, and I love it even more now listening to how he's approaching the situation. And you can approach this situation like this because you know you're going to get paid because your play speaks.
And he's the number one, right? He's the number one. He's the guy.
So all due respect to whether it's Devontae Smith or pick your favorite guy, no matter who it is. Yeah, that guy's the best.
When you think about the Minnesota Vikings, without him, this team is not successful.
Irrelevant. Yeah.
Think about this: Justin Jefferson got to Minnesota and rendered their best receiver useless. In Adam Thielen. No joke. He went from 100 catches a year, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, to he's an afterthought.
I mean, because of Justin Jefferson, you see Caucasian dads, suburban dads doing the gritty, right? Like, it wasn't a thing. Now, every fat guy that works at a deli knows how to do the gritty because of this man. So
are we still doing the gritty?
It's still a thing.
We're still doing it.
It's a thing.
Because last time my 12-year-old did, and I said, Anthony, no one does it anymore. He's like, no, we do.
We're still at it.
Yeah, it's part of the culture.
Like, you part ways. I got just this is how good he's been.
Yeah.
From jump.
Yeah.
You part ways with Stephon Diggs, who was your number one guy.
That's right.
To Buffalo, and then draft this guy, and he makes the entire city forget that you just left and parted ways with Stephon Diggs because he's been that good. Love everything about him.
Let me go to second in football. Jaxon Smith-Njigba has unfortunately gotten hurt and now is having surgery to repair his fractured wrist. No word exactly how long he's going to be out for Seattle, but they were counting on him to make a big difference for that offense and for Geno Smith.
Yeah, this is a tough loss because for me, coming out of the draft, he was my number one receiver. He was the most ready-made, play him right now type of receiver coming out of Ohio State with all the guys that have come out of there. But in this offense, he's a different type of a receiver. We all know what DK Metcalf can do and Tyler Lockett. They're different types of receivers. This young man, big size, plays in the slot predominantly, but can play outside, catches sure-handed, does everything right, and he plays the game up here.
They're saying, and you see it at the bottom of the screen there, 3 to 4 weeks. So, best case scenario, maybe he's back week 2.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. Like, this is a football injury. For me, I think it goes to your point. His ability to run the intermediate routes, he's a big body, especially for Geno Smith. You talk about him having the range to go inside and outside. Geno needs this, right? Because you saw what Geno did last year. What's the naysayer say? Can he do it again?
Right.
And he's going to need all the weapons. And so having him out, it's a small time out, but he'll be fine.
All right, let's go to third and football. Miles Sanders, now with the new team, was talking about Bryce Young. And who do you think he compared the rookie quarterback to? Let's take a listen.
Taking his job serious. I mean, you already have to be you have to go to work a certain type of way when you're you're starting quarterback of an NFL football team. But just his mentality outside of that, like he's sharp. Like Bryce is real sharp, and that's kind of what I learned from Jalen too. Like I said before, Nick Saban's doing a great job at Alabama.
Yeah, the problem is that Jalen Hurts is 1.5 feet taller than Bryce Young. Now, look, you know you played line, right? The dude's 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
How's he going to be a successful NFL quarterback? And that's not a knock. I know he's got the arm.
You are knocking him because you're calling him 4 feet tall.
He's an Oompa Loompa. What do I mean to tell you?
Oompa Loompa?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you got that?
Well,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I get it.
They made all the chocolate.
I hate that we keep talking about it. No, but seriously, you know what Miles is mixing up that Jalen Hurts had a number one quarterback, receiving A.J. Brown, right? He had a big time offensive line, right? And he also had a defense to back Jalen Hurts up, right?
Yep.
Bryce Young has none of that.
Nope. Right.
That's different.
He doesn't have a good offensive line. He doesn't have the weapons that Jalen Hurts has. And I'm sorry, it's not a knock. It's obvious. When you're that short, it's never happened in the history of the sport where a guy 5'8" or 9" became an all-world quarterback.
Well, how tall is Drew Brees?
6 foot.
5'9".
5'9".
5'10". I give Drew 5'10".
You have to whisper it.
5'10".
You use your chest when you say it.
5'10".
Yeah.
5'10". Well, it's okay.
Short quarterbacks can survive. We just got to see this one do it. That's it.
I hope Bryce Young is successful, but I don't think there's any possibility he has a good year this year. I think that it's going to be an absolute train wreck down in Carolina. Let me go to fourth in football. Darius Slay compared Jalen Carter. Yeah, you see it there.
Baby rhino?
To a baby rhino.
What?
He looks like a baby rhino. Have you ever seen a baby rhino?
Yeah.
I haven't.
They're awkward.
Are they awkward looking?
Yeah.
Like giraffes?
Well, they just look fat and awkward. This is what they are.
Don't take it personally.
No, I don't. We all have stages in our life we got to fight through. But no, Jalen Carter's a dog, man. And I don't know if he's a baby rhino, but I know he's going to be a menace. I love everything. I loved him in Georgia. And the baby rhino looks ashy. Can we?
Some plumbers.
What does he mean by baby rhino? I need to know more. Darius Slay.
About Jalen Carter?
Oh no, about the baby rhino reference.
What is it? Well, I mean,
was he trying to insinuate?
He's saying that he's fast and ferocious.
He's fast. He's ferocious,
like a baby rhino.
Right. Because babies have attitudes.
You see that? He could have picked any jungle animal, I guess. He chose the rhino. Let me tell you.
Maybe his favorite.
You don't like
animal.
it, huh?
I mean,
You're
it
the
is.
fun
Look,
police.
I really don't care. As long
We
as
took
he's
time
balling.
to actually do a tail the tape between a baby rhino and a human being, and you're slow playing it.
Yeah. You know what?
You hate Zeus.
We got a segment on here called Like It or Spike It.
Yeah.
I spike that right now.
Oh!
Is that a
right?
segment?
I think he's feeling a little threatened.
Is that what it is? Oh, man.
Meanwhile, Jalen Carter is a man-child, I think is what he's saying.
He's a real deal, man.
Yeah. All right, coming up after the break, we got your late show headlines, including the decision behind the New York Jets deciding to have old man Rodgers play football against the Giants on Saturday. You'll hear from the head coach right after this. All right, welcome back. Late show headlines. It is now official. Not only is Aaron Rodgers going to start Saturday against the Giants, but the New York Jets have activated Dwayne Brown.
Let's go.
Be their starting left tackle off the PUP list. So not sure that he's going to play Saturday, but he's going to be the starting left tackle for the New York Jets. Now, let's go to Robert Saleh. Coach Saleh, walk us through the thinking of having Aaron Rodgers on the field, live snaps against the New York Giants. Go ahead.
Can't coach scared, can't play scared. You can slip out of your car and have something happen to you, but we'll be, knock on wood, everyone will be fine. You see some of the great ones out there. Kansas City's playing their guys, Buffalo's playing their guys. It's not uncommon.
Yeah, by the way, I don't care that other teams are playing their starters or not playing their starters. As a Jet fan, it's still a dream. We haven't seen it. We've seen the practice. We've obviously ogled the slow motion, beautiful spiral, and thrown a ball right in the bucket to Garrett Wilson, all that stuff. I need to see number 8 on the field against a real football team just so I get a little taste. I just want a little taste.
Let's face it, there's still doubt. There's doubt.
Yeah, I'm a Jet fan. Of course there's doubt. Right? I mean, old man Rodgers might take one step back, have his knee crumble, and then I got my whole season laying on the shoulders of Zach Wilson. Yes, there's doubt. I need to see it. And I feel like an addict. I need a little taste. I just need a little taste. Give a little taste.
But so there's taste. So let's keep it a buck. There's taste, and then there's expectations. What are your expectations for Saturday?
Oh, don't.
Saturday.
Don't.
Saturday starts to run to Vegas in the second.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl.
That's what I want to hear.
And it starts on Saturday.
You're right.
Now,
consider they haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years. But that's
the thing we could debate now, of course, is the road to the Super Bowl and what are the potholes I got to worry about. But when I see Aaron Rodgers out there, I do not need to see him for a half. If it's 3 and out, I need another possession.
Yep.
But if I get like a 9-play, 80-yard drive, it's a wrap. I'm good.
So my point is, we know who Aaron Rodgers is. We know what he's capable of.
Yes.
We want to see how the rest of the team operates with him. That's why you want him out there a little longer.
I just need to see it. Like right now, it's a dream that's this close to being real.
Sure.
But it's not real until I see it.
Yeah, and
Saturday becomes real.
I get that, and even with us knowing who Aaron Rodgers is, we still haven't seen him with this outfit.
Yep.
In a new situation, new environment, new culture. Obviously, play caller he's familiar with, knows a couple of the guys on the team, all the things. But this is different for him too. He wants to have this dress rehearsal. He wants to ensure that what we're getting into week 1 against the Bills, as you alluded to.
Yeah.
We know what's going to be faced across from them. Then that is going to be legit, and we're going to be able to sustain it through the course.
Well,
of the season.
I just want to throw rocks at the reason I ask expectations because I do expect this team to look a little clunky. And to your point, you say if they do look clunky and they don't look polished as we want them to, there's going to be mayhem. People are going to start burning buildings.
I can tell you because I'll be leading it.
But 2 offensive guys know, and I know we both know,
it takes time.
It takes the offense way longer.
That's excuses.
It takes us way longer to get on the same page than the defense, right? Defense is see ball, get ball, boom, you go.
Correct.
Offense, if I don't do my job, it throws him off. The quarterback's off rhythm.
Yeah.
Running back is now probably on his way out to try to chip. Now he's panicking. Now he has to turn this. We work in a string. If we're not working on the same accord, the offense goes left.
All right, so in that case, then your first comment an hour ago that you want them to play an entire half makes more sense.
Exactly, to my point, because I know from an offensive standpoint, it doesn't matter how long I played it in a preseason. If I played all preseason games, there's still things I have to work out from an offensive standpoint as a total unit. So for Aaron Rodgers, if they do look clunky, we can't start burning the buildings. We can't start trashing the streets. It's going to take this offensive time to get on the same
I'm going to be on a horse in Times Square. We're holding a big stick on fire. And there's going to be thousands behind me.
Right.
As we ransack.
You can't do it. You can't do it. Allow this man to have the time with this offense that he's trying out in front of the world.
This is the first time, maybe in my lifetime.
But this is why I said you should. And once again, got to put in context. I know AVT and Lakeland Thompson were out injured. And Dwayne Brown.
AVT is Elijah Vera Tuck.
Yes,
he's the starting right guard for the Jets.
Thank you for the cleanup card.
You got it.
But I would have loved to see him get all that against the Bucs. Get all that out.
Yeah.
Give me a quarter against the Giants, and then here come Buffalo. Let's rumble.
Yeah, look, I just want to see it. It's one of those things where it's like it's this close. It's like when an OnlyFans model actually DMs you. I'm that close.
She likes it. She really likes it.
I'm still hung up on the playing at half. That just can't happen. That cannot. You cannot.
It probably won't happen.
It probably won't.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I understand the concept of why he'd like to see it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, even playing a half of football doesn't guarantee that week 1, we ironed everything out. That's going to be a season-long process.
But you have more film to dissect.
Understood.
That's the point. So when you do hit Buffalo, you're like, this is where we were at as a half. let's put it together.
All right, let me go to headline number 2. Chris Jones, defensive tackle, Kansas City Chiefs. I was talking to some guy online, social media, and the guy said, how long are you willing to hold out?
8 weeks.
Because he is still holding out. He said week 8. Week 8.
Week 8,
Boy,
sorry.
if I'm a Kansas City Chief fan, I don't like the sounds of that at all.
Straight cash, homie. He wants to get paid. Bottom line, this guy who had 15 sacks last year, coming up his first All-Pro season, he was a menace. They're going to pay the man. He just has to be patient.
Yeah, now you can work the fine into the deal, but the reality is that he's already making $20 million a year for this year. And there does come a point where if he sits out week 8, it's almost collectively $10 million in fines.
Wow.
That's hard to add to a contract.
Yeah, you're saying be patient. I'm saying you've been patient. I've played a full season. I've been almost defensive player of the year. I possibly could do that this year. I am the center of attention when we talk about our defense.
Yeah.
You're not paying Patrick Mahomes as the highest paid quarterback in the league. You're not paying Travis Kelce as the highest paid tight end in the league. You're not paying anybody. We released or let Tyreek Hill go a year and a half ago.
Yep.
Like, the money is there. Just pay me, and I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a fifth, we'll all be drunk. You don't always get what you want. So the bottom line is, continue to be who you are. Continue to be dominant. It's going to happen. The owner himself has said, we're not going to pay you.
Right.
We're just going to
They acknowledge they're going to pay him.
They're going to pay you. Just come to work, and we'll make it work for you.
And remember, because of the contract he's under and where he got drafted, they can't make these fines go away. If he's on the original deal, they can.
Yeah.
This deal, he's going to have to figure out, what am I doing with potentially $10 million in fines? You don't want $10 million coming out of your paycheck.
Not at all, but if you're on a flex and say you got it, well, then spend it.
Yeah, he did say I got it.
He said I got it.
I can afford to sit out and cost myself
He's willing to go.
$10 million.
He's willing to go the distance. Let's see if he's about it.
I don't know a lot of guys that are that stupid.
I don't have it.
No, I ain't got it. Speaking of, I need that 5 for lunch. All right, let me go to a final headline. And this is getting old, to be honest. The New York Yankees are an embarrassment. Maybe the biggest embarrassment in all of Major League Baseball.
Starting to chafe, Carton.
Considering their payroll, considering their expectations. They've not had a losing season in 20 years, but they lost their 9th consecutive game last night. Their 1 through 8 batters last night were combined 0 for 26.
Oh.
They have not had a 9-game losing streak in either of your lifetimes.
Yeah.
And that's real.
Only having 2 hits last night. That was rough
one
to
guy,
see.
both
One
hits.
guy, and listen, the defense had played well last night, but overall, the Yankees are just in a rut. And
I can hear it out there. The rest of America loves it. The rest of America, I know you're watching going, I enjoy your pain. Screw Willie Colon.
No.
Screw Carton.
You need me.
We want the Yankees to suffer.
You love me.
Well, we're suffering.
There's no reason to hold on. Let's just join in right here. Here we go. How do I say
I hate
goodbye?
I don't want it. Yankees, I love you. I've never given up. It's never over.
All right, pretty good singing.
It's just the shirt.
Not bad. Yeah. He was the 5th Boyz II Men member.
Yeah, I know.
Just say goodbye, man.
I'm not going to give up the Yankees. It's still,
at least for this.
It's bleak. It's looking dark, but I'm not going to give up.
And also, one other bit of breaking news for you, and this is exclusive to the Carton Show. The NFL right now are down to 2 choices in the moment for a halftime show at this year's Super Bowl. Choice 1, a boy band reunion.
Really?
New Kids on the Block, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, Color Me Bad, and maybe some K-pop.
Okay.
The other choice, Harry Styles with special guest.
Do some Harry Styles now. Now look here. You got me at Harry Styles. What?
You're a Harry Styles.
I'm not a Harry Styles guy. I'm not ashamed to say that.
Really?
Yeah. I've never even heard Harry Styles.
Watermelon Sugar Fine.
Who's that?
Thing? No.
Never heard it.
You've heard of Harry Styles.
I've heard of Harry Styles. I just don't know who. I never heard a song of his.
You've probably heard his music. You just you haven't put the 2 together yet.
Watermelon Sugar.
Just not a dork.
No.
No. I'm not gonna. I
Don't
just
sing it again.
Watermelon Sugar.
Don't sing it again.
No.
Hey, Carton singing coach. What the?
Yeah.
All right, we got one more segment to go for you. We got the latest on the Dallas Cowboys not playing Dak Prescott this preseason. Yeah. We've got Like It or Spike It. And we've got the president of the Green Bay Packers saying, I really hate Aaron Rodgers. All that next on FS1. We are back, and the Dallas Cowboys have made a decision, and that is that Dak Prescott will not play in their final preseason game, meaning he will not play at all in the preseason. Mike McCarthy spoke about why.
It's really, risk assessment. I mean, there's pros and cons of playing them. There's pros and cons of not playing them. There's pros and cons of practicing against another team. There's pros and cons of not. So I mean, just understanding how it all fits together. But I think the other part of it is, where are you as a team? What are you trying to get done? Do you have a veteran group you believe in? This is year 3 for a lot of our group.
Yeah, when he says risk assessment, I know a lot of people view that as injury. Before I get to how I view it, Jerry Jones did come out and talk to reporters and say, you see the quote there, I like Mike McCarthy's approach. He wants those players there in December. Don't want to risk losing a guy, in August. But when I hear risk assessment associated with the name Dak Prescott, it ain't injury. It's interceptions.
Yeah, on top of that, he wants to get everybody to the starting line feeling good and healthy, right? You don't want no negative vibes. You want everybody feeling like they can get the job done. And this is make it or break it of the year for Mike McCarthy. I don't know if anybody else. He needs
unfairly, but it is.
Unfairly, but it is. And I think right now you want to start the season off hot, and you need Dak with a high level of confidence. So I get it.
Yeah, how do you give him the confidence without playing, though? And that's the kind of rope here where you'd love him to go out and play a first half, throw for 150 yards, a couple scores, and feel really confident.
Yep.
But they're not going to do that. So how do you build the confidence?
Preparation. Simply preparation. The more you prepare, the more you study film, the more you try to get rid of the things, the woes that kind of you tripped over last year. You just continue to prepare the right way, set the game plan early, and then allow him weeks to continue to make that game plan his own.
Yeah.
And then you let the chips fall where they may after that. It is what it is.
Then you need guys in that locker room to believe in you, right? When you talking about Tavon Diggs chirping at him, man,
calling him the B word,
and as from the offensive standpoint, your defense has to have your back.
Yep.
They got to have your back, and they got to believe in you. So when you look at,
let me stop you there. In your entire career, have you ever heard a player call your franchise quarterback the B word?
I heard a lot of things, Carton.
Have you heard that?
I've heard a lot of things.
You have heard that?
I didn't say that. I just said I heard a lot of things.
Which quarterback was, pardon me, called a bitch?
You know what? I defer to Greg. So do you? I can't go there. But
you have heard your quarterback.
I've heard aggressive verbiage
towards the quarterback.
Towards the offense and quarterback.
Can I be more direct? Like when you were in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
No one did
you hear that? With Ben at quarterback.
Because defenses get frustrated if they're trying their heart out and they're trying to close a game and a guy's throwing picks or whatever, things can get hostile. So, yeah, I've heard a lot of different things.
Mark Sanchez?
I can see that in Jets. But if you're alluding to Ben, that would be shocking.
By the way, love you, Mark, but he's just telling true stories from the locker room, that's all. Geno Smith, he got punched in the mouth. For a different reason.
That happened.
Yes, it did. Broke his jaw. Ended the season. Before we get out of here, we always like to end the show with something we call Like It or Spike It. You guys ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Every rapper and musician wants to be a ball player. Every ball player wants to be a musician. Adam Levine, Maroon 5, Lefty Jumper, Stroke Money. Like it or spike it.
I like it because Adam Levine, right? The guy from Maroon 5, he's got range. I got it.
That's a sweet lefty jumper.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's it?
That's like it or spike it.
I like it.
We got more. Number 2, Greg Jennings' shirt.
Hate it. I was spiking in the trash.
Sorry, Greg.
Well, you guys know I like it, so we're all good.
I would say this. It looks good on you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good job, Willie. Appreciate you being here.
Always, man.
We'll do it again tomorrow, right here on FS1.